What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Wow, what an episode. Or two episodes, but they played it like a freaking movie and stuff. So, welcome to the stream. I'm Brian, the Nerdporial Lifeform, and I just want to welcome you all who are here and stuff. Thank you for coming by. This was such a great. I have not been excited for a TV show in a long time. So, if you're here, please leave a like button, or I mean, sorry, please if you're new here, hit the red subscribe button, hit the thumbs up for a like and stuff. It really helps bring this out. I want people to see. I want other fans to come by and have their fun, have their talk and stuff. So, once again, welcome. Wow, I am completely. I was completely blown away by this episode, by these two episodes actually, but they played it like a single episode. So, for starters, I am going to be going into spoilers. So if you haven't watched the show yet and you're planning to watch it, or you're planning to watch the episodes, go and watch the episodes. It just finished on AMC. It just finished on AMC, so I think the episode will be up on AMC Plus. That's how I watched it. So, or DVR it or something. But whoa, oh man, I can't believe what we saw. It was so awesome. I know I'm beside myself. Like 2 years. It's gonna be 2 years from Wednesday that the last episode dropped from season 5. So, you guys ready to go into the episode? So, but yeah, so I want to welcome who's in the chat so far. We have Jeremy Swiggs is here. What's up? A regular. And we have Aggie Fury 101. She says, Kim loves power, like the Salamancas. Yeah, Kim is. That last scene with Kim. So Jimmy was the carrot, Kim was the stick. And wow, that was like Kim is cold as ice. Wow. And I know I am super duper excited. But I took a lot of notes. So while I was watching the episode, I took notes scene by scene by scene. So I'm just gonna go through it. Just go through the scene by scene, talk a little bit about it. I'm gonna have a guest on shortly, so I can have something to bounce this off of, someone else to bounce this off of. But we ready to go? All right. So I did not. I'm going to be honest. I did not. This is my first time using AMC Plus, so I did not know how to watch it at first. So I was going to the Better Call Saul list and waiting for the episode to drop, kind of like a Netflix or a Hulu type of thing. You know, you just click on the thumbnail and you watch the episode. It's not like that. You had to go to the AMC TV part, click on that, and then it broadcasts it the same way you watch it on regular TV, regular cable. So, so I did not see the entirety of the very first scene. But what I did see was that they were playing Andy Williams's "Wine and Roses," you know, from the trailer, which was I never heard that song. I'll be honest, I never heard that song before. I was born in the '80s. I've not listened to a whole lot of Andy Williams or Frank Sinatra and stuff, but the choice of music that Better Call Saul chooses to for their trailers, for their episodes, even in Breaking Bad too, I felt the same way. It was very stylistic and makes it unique, especially the way Tarantino selects music, especially for movies like Jackie Brown. Same idea, like hits that were forgotten are kind of brought back. And you know what? I love that. I love it. It gives I don't know what it is. It gives shows like this a unique flavor. And I'll be honest, when I first saw Breaking Bad, I actually thought, if Tarantino, developed a TV show, it would be just like it. And I mean, especially the way Breaking Bad begins, with that messed up, part with the tub, and the tub, with acid dissolving, and the tub goes, psh, and there's crap everywhere and stuff. That reminded me of the Pulp Fiction part with Marvin, John Travolta shot Marvin in the face. So, yeah, so we begin with that, And the big thing was no Gene. We didn't see Gene. Usually in the beginning of the first season, the very first scene of the first season, we see a black and white tradition of, the adventures of Gene Takovic or Takovich. And we didn't see it. We just see a bunch of people, a bunch of movers, moving stuff out of a building, putting it on a lawn, and we hear the music, and then we see Kim's brush, or that little pine cone looking brush thing that she takes out of her desk at the end of season 5 when she quits Schweikert and Coakley. So she takes that. We see that there. So it's significant. I don't even know what that thing is called. If you know in the chat, right, type it in and let me know what that is. I don't know exactly what that is. So, but that goes into the credits. The credits look a little bit different, slightly different. It's like a combination of the first 2 episodes. You have the Statue of Liberty balloon, which we see in this episode, in the second half, and of course the lawyer up Cadillac. That's episodes 1 and 2. But this time it's more black and white. So it's an interesting thing. So that's scene 1. So now we're at scene 2, and we're at Nacho. Nacho. So basically, the episode begins with Nacho when he lets the mercenaries in when they're they're supposed to take out Lalo Salamanca. He's basically running. He runs and he runs and he runs. He hears the gunfire and he's running and he hides from farmers. So he hides from farmers, and I'll be honest, this episode, the best part of this premiere was Nacho's story. Nacho's story was the most engaging. It was the most tense, and it had a lot. There was a lot of Breaking Bad in that, but the stakes were higher. You can't just go out. You just can't go out shooting like Breaking Bad did. There's too much at stake. I mean, Nacho they're after him, and he cannot make any wrong moves or he's dead. And so, let's keep going into this. So he gets a call from Tyrus. So Tyrus is basically his contact, and everyone is after Nacho. Federales, all the Salamancas, everybody. And he's instructed to take the battery out of his phone, like we see in Breaking Bad, typical stuff, and to keep going. I think he's basically going north. He's going north and something. So Jeannie Lumley says it was the cork or whatever from their first con. Oh, okay. With that tequila, with that $50 tequila or something, or that really expensive tequila. Okay, with the obnoxious investor guy. Okay, I think that makes sense now. So so that little thing there. So he takes the battery, keeps going. Then it turns to Lalo. So Lalo basically turns up at a lady's home, just typical, very homely home in Mexico. And I didn't get the lady's name, but her husband basically comes in. He's got this full Abraham Lincoln beard, and they're like, Don Eduardo, how are you? So I'm guessing he's in control of that. Everyone in that territory is basically under his control. And the way they talk to him, the way they treat him, made me think of Godfather Part 2. The way they treated, Vito, Robert De Niro's Vito, in that movie, especially during when they're especially in I think in the shop and stuff, and the evil landlord goes in and he apologizes. He's like he finds out who Vito is and stuff, and he starts kissing his butt and everything. But it kind of made me think of that a little bit. So the husband comes in, and the wife's like, go shave for Don Eduardo and stuff. She offers him breakfast. He's like, no, just give me some coffee. He takes apart. There's a pair of scissors. He takes one of the blades off, and walks towards the bathroom where the husband's shaving. And then when we see the husband, his face comes up, and that's the very final scene of the trailer. So everybody, I remember listening to other people's reviews or people's reactions to that trailer. A lot of people thought he was a double. So I don't know if he's a double, but he's but he's basically working. He's secretly working with Lalo. So yeah, so that's the end of that scene. So we're at scene three, and we're back to Jimmy and Kim. They're in bed. They're in bed, and it's a new workday for them. Kim is continuing her pro bono stuff that she started back in season I think season five, maybe season four. I don't remember, but yeah, season five is really where she started with the pro bono and stuff, and she likes it way more than doing the Mesa Verde with Schweiker and Coakley. So she just freaking leaves after she just quits the job. No money. She has no income now. So so they need a cab because neither of them. She had to give away her car because it was a company car, and of course Jimmy's car, was in a ditch in Mexico because of uh, Jimmy's car's in a ditch in Mexico because of the Bagman episode. The Bagman episode where he gets the $7 million. He gets what do you call it? He gets ambushed by Don Juan Bolsa's men. So Don Juan Bolsa wanted to, I forget why he did it, just for the sake of protecting Gus and stuff, keeping Lalo in jail or something, keeping from delivering the bailout money. But yeah, the money. So Jimmy still has the money. I think he still has the tan from that segment. He gives Kim some. I think he gives Kim some money from that little package for the cab, and they both go to the Albuquerque Justice, the court, and basically as we saw in the trailer, the cup, the greatest lawyer in the world, coffee cup, thrown out with the bullet hole and all. So that's out of the picture now. An iconic thing. The thing that Jimmy could not fit into the Davis and Maine Davis and Maine car cup holder and stuff. Obviously, as a metaphor for Jimmy not fitting in with Davis and Maine. But of course, anyone who watches Better Call Saul enjoys Better Call Saul. I say is very intelligent. This is very intelligent writing. A lot of the stuff requires you to read in between the lines and stuff. And I'll be honest, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed myself, but I can tell good writing when I see it. And compared to what's out now, especially on Disney stuff, Disney services, Disney streaming, and other stuff, a lot of this is one of the last really good television shows. I mean, quality. I mean, they take their time writing. Everything's laid out. The scenes are long enough. You pay attention. The photography's beautiful. Cinematography's great. The music, everything works. And I mean, if you haven't watched Better Call Saul, check the show out. Heck, watch Breaking Bad first, then watch Better Call Saul, because Better Call Saul is also a sequel. It's not just a prequel. It's also a sequel, and it's also a spin-off in some ways. So. Without further ado, my guest arrived.
Sorry.
Hey, Prophet, what's up?
What's going on, man? Sorry I'm late.
Hey, I just got through talking about. I am pumped. I don't know if you watched the episode. I am super duper pumped right now.
Yeah, I sort of had to do it a little bit at warp speed. I'm gonna go through it again. Just had some family show up out of the blue, but yeah, I got through both of them, man. It's gonna be quite the season, isn't it?
Yeah, and I just want to say a quick hello to just another red shirt. He says greetings all, welcome. How are you? How you doing? Long time no see. And Jean Lumley, she says Safiro Anejo. I have no idea what that is, but she did answer. She did answer me that it was that thing that was left on the ground was the cork and stuff.
Yeah,
But I have to ask.
that was the
I have
cork
to.
from the first bottle, right?
Yeah, I had no idea I forgot what that was. Like I just thought it was. I forgot what it was. So, but hey, I did not catch the very first scene until like right before it ended because I didn't know how to use AMC Plus to watch it yet.
Right.
So I was like a few minutes late. I couldn't believe it. No Gene. What was that? What was that
Yeah.
about?
Uh,
I was
yeah,
like,
I
usually
know. It
they
was sort of
always
crazy.
start.
Well, especially because like you're sort of waiting for like because at the season 5, he's marching off saying, "I'm going to take care of it myself." So you're sort of expecting to see what he's going to do in that situation, and then nothing. It's like, wow, I wasn't expecting that, especially since every episode has started with that black and white scene of him, going through the everyday life at Cinnabon. Uh, yeah, pretty crazy.
I had some even though it's not good for you, I had some I usually always celebrate a premiere of Better Call Saul with a Cinnabon, and now I feel like I did wrong now because they didn't even show Cinnabon
Yeah,
in this premiere.
well, it's a good routine to have. I mean, it's never a bad time for Cinnabon, is it?
Oh, it's always a bad time for Cinnabon. It's terrible for you. It makes you feel like crap after you eat it. But
Yeah,
you
I
know
guess
what?
it's I guess
It's
it's
still
like the
it's
go
still
ahead.
delicious.
Yeah,
It's still delicious, and it's just it's just fun to have when you're watching a show, where the lawyer becomes a man lawyer becomes a manager of a Cinnabon in
yeah,
the middle of Omaha of all things. So
yeah. I guess it's sort of like Long John Silver's in that way. It tastes delicious going down, and then you pay for it about a half hour later when you can't get out of the
oh yeah,
bathroom.
Taco Bell, White Castle, all that. It's
Oh
all
yeah, all
crap.
those, all those.
Yeah, you want to feel good, you want to feel healthy and young. Exercise, especially cardiovascular and weightlifting. Weightlifting helps you sleep, but B, just you eat better. You won't feel the crap that you feel after you eat the crap food. So
Yeah, I'm telling you, after the last few, actually about week and a half, I've had, yeah, I need a diet change because I've felt like crap the last 2 weeks, man. I've been sort of out of the loop. So I'm glad that I sort of turned it around here to actually be able to watch the beginning here and get to talk to with you about it because,
I
man, this is
haven't
gonna be
been
good.
I haven't been this excited for I haven't been this excited for TV shows or anything in a long time because just I mean, way 2019 was with all the crap, like the way Game of Thrones ended. I couldn't believe it. I just yeah, I don't know if you guys in the chat, I did not I could not stand how Game of Thrones ended and how, the new Star Wars trilogy ended. 2019 was not a good year for stuff coming out. And then the pandemic hit right after that, so now with 2022, this season just gives me hope that there's still good television shows out there.
Well,
But
it's really amazing because it's really I mean, I don't know. It sort of fell off the radar because of the pandemic, right? And it's like, it's like, oh, TV just sucks, and everything that comes out is just lets you down one way or another. And then, it's like all of a sudden it comes back, and you're like, oh shoot, man! Like, this is actually a show I can pretty much rely on to be excellent every episode. And
yeah,
it did disappoint these first two. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a slow burn, but I don't think we expect anything less.
that's Better
Uh,
Call Saul. That's
yeah, I
basically
mean,
Better.
yeah.
But I just want to address this Zach Payne. What was the ending about? Who was that? Okay, we'll
That,
get to that. We'll get to
yeah,
that when we
yeah.
get to the end. I think it, but to answer, but to be quick, I think it was Mike. That
It
looked
was
like
Mike.
Mike's car
Yeah, it
that
was
was
Mike's car.
following them.
I watched it twice just because I was running late getting in here. But it's always nice to know what you're looking at in the stinger there. But yeah, if you look closely, you can see this. I always forget the actor's name, but Mike has a very unique
Jonathan Banks.
profile. Yeah, so he has a very unique profile. So if you look at it, you can see the bald head with his ears, sort of as a silhouette as he drives away. It's definitely Mike.
Yeah, but yeah, I think so too. Jeannie Lumley says, "I bet Gene gets the last episode." You know what I'm thinking? He might get the last 3 episodes. So I think the 10 episode season will be the same. And then I think the last 3 episodes will. I might be wrong, but I think the last 3 episodes will be Gene.
You
I think.
think you think it's going to be after the events of Breaking Bad type thing, yeah, and see where he ended up
I
after that?
I think there's gonna be a couple scenes from Breaking Bad. I mean, they confirmed
Yep.
Walter White and Jesse Pinkman, Bryan Cranston, and Aaron Paul are coming back. So there's
Right.
remember that scene, remember that episode? I think it was episode 5 or 6 of season 4 when we see Saul during Breaking Bad. Right before like he's cleaning up the place, he's looking for like his money and he's having Francesca shred all the papers and stuff, and he gives
Yep.
Francesca a message and stuff. I think we're gonna get another scene during that time, a
Yeah.
scene that was not a story element that was not told during Breaking Bad. So
Well, and it's funny because I know we talked about it last time we were talking about this, but I did start watching a little Breaking Bad, and I paid close attention to it. But the first one of the first scenes with well, not one of the first, but when they pull Saul out to threaten him, first thing he said is, you know, did Varga sent you, or was it Lalo?
It,
Lalo? Yeah. So it's yeah,
he's like, it was
it's
not me, it was Ignacio. Did Lalo
Ignacio.
send
That's what it
you?
was. Yeah,
And
yeah,
see,
yeah,
here and Peter Gould himself said this. Peter Gould said, we're going to bring in Lalo, but we want to earn that. See,
yeah,
here's the thing. That's a difference between people like Peter Gould, who is writing, running Better Call Saul,
yeah,
versus all the other shows that they're on now. Everything is basically tell, don't show,
yeah,
and nothing feels earned. Peter
yeah.
Gould knows that you want to get the audience, you have to earn that right, and they Lalo more than earned his place in this
Oh
show.
God, Lalo is so
Like
good. Yeah.
Lalo is a beast. Like you
Oh,
see what he's capable of. He jumped into a freaking ceiling and went down the other side and killed the dude at the travel place,
yeah,
or
yeah,
not the travel place, or the travel place.
yeah.
And then you see him, see him, jump down like a 10-foot ditch, no problem. He's like freaking Data from Star Trek. He's like an android almost.
Well, no fear too, and he does it with that smile, that cocky, like I don't know if I guess cocky, confident attitude. I don't know if I'd even call it cocky, but like he's just like he goes into everything with like that's what made I think the last episode of season 5 so I guess edge of your seat. You actually see Lalo in a little bit of a panic before he composes himself, and you don't see that's the first time we've ever seen him like that, and he's right back to form in these episodes, just being Lalo, shrugging it off. It's time to plan and to start getting some sweet revenge here.
Christian Chacon, dude,
It's
saying
great,
the
so
episode
good,
premiere was lit is an understatement.
man.
I have not been
I'm
this excited. Like I said earlier, I have not been this excited in a
yeah,
long
I'm
time.
so happy. We got some good TV to look forward to. It's oh man, like yeah, it's so
So,
good.
so there's gonna be 5 more weeks
Yep.
for this block, and then there's gonna be a 6-week break in between, late May and I think earlier mid July is
Why
when
did
the
it
second
did
half is gonna come out.
Do we know why they did it that way, or just to let you digest and let
I
you like?
well there was Bob Odenkirk's heart attack that he had, so they had to
Oh, that's
postpone
right.
stuff. So all of like Bob Odenkirk's scenes had to be delayed. So
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
there's probably still working on. There's probably still finishing posts on the later episodes. So they just need a time. Here's the thing: this is better than Breaking Bad because I didn't watch Breaking Bad, but I looked at the schedule. The two halves of the final season were freaking over like 13, 14 months apart. So from the moment Hank finds out on the toilet that Walt WW is actually Walter White, not Walt
Yeah.
Whitman, and we had to wait everybody had to wait 14 months to see how that would
Huh.
pay off. But here we only have to wait 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So
No, I never felt that with Breaking Bad because I watched it when it was all out, so I was lucky to not have to wait at all for that. But look, it's not a long wait for good when it lets you digest uh, what you've seen and sort of think about what you're getting ready to see, and then you're happy. Yeah, you're anticipating and you want to see it, but the wait isn't as bad when you know it's coming and you know it's good, right?
yeah,
At least for
oh
me.
yeah, exactly. All right, so what else did anybody catch the number on Kim's phone? I actually did not. I did not catch the
I,
number.
to be honest, I'll have to watch again a little bit slower because, like I said, just to make it to this, I had some impromptu guests, so I wanted to make sure I got through the episode once. I did not catch the number, but yeah, I'd be interested in hearing any thoughts.
He says I think it started with 505, 504, something. He says I want to call it. Try it. See
Try,
what you
dude. You
get.
never know with some of these things. Like sometimes you're rewarded for that curiosity. I guess the worst thing is that whatever time you are, you could be waking somebody up with a nasty crap. Right? Why are you calling me about this at 12 at night?
So Zach Payne thinks it was Hamlin. I don't think that was Hamlin. I don't think that was
Yeah, I
Hamlin at
don't
the
think
end.
so.
Hamlin drives that black car with the Namaste license plate
Yeah,
and stuff. So
the car we thought that I'm almost 100% sure it was Mike in the car. I mean, it's his car, right? I mean,
yeah,
that was
yeah,
Mike's car. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt.
yeah,
Plus, it makes sense that he's traveling. I think you got Mike trying to pull in for Nacho. I think getting Saul's got to get in the game with Fring here somewhere here soon. So
yeah,
it would make complete sense that Mike's still trailing Saul, figure out what he's doing.
yeah. That's true. So we have input latency. What's up, input? He says, I just realized it's nearly midnight here. You're on the east side. You're on the east coast. It's only 10:58 p.m. by me, so Midwest. Popping in to say hi and drop a like, then going to sleep. Good night and God bless peace. Well, thank you so much for coming by and for your support. Input, you're
Good night.
awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping in. Awesome.
K2J Extreme says, "What's up, Nerdpora?" Well, what's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for coming by. Jim Lumley says, "I have both Saul and Nacho's numbers on my phone, so they do keep them up." Oh, okay.
Ooh.
And when you call Nacho, it says, "Nacho, leave it."
Real That's so cool. Really?
That is cool.
That's awesome, man. There's just the
Zach
little things, man.
Zach says, other thing I'm confused about. What was the letter that Mike planted in Nacho's safe? Wanted to know your thoughts. Well, it looked like bank statements from the Cayman Islands because that's when Don Juan and then broke into that duplicate or that mock safe that they put
Yeah,
in.
they're setting up Bosa for something. It looks like. Well, to I mean, that's one of those little things. I think it'll you'll get the payoff. You're not really sure what the long con is on that one, but uh, yeah, it looked like a definitely a bank account for some reason. Yeah, but I
You
don't
know,
know
you know,
why the phone number to the the phone that was the phone number to the hotel Nacho was at too was on there, right?
yeah, I think so.
So
But
it's a weird one because you want Mike's pulling for Nacho.
yeah, yeah, and especially the way the episode, the way the episode ends, and it's still that whole standoff between Mike and Gus continues into next week. So I'm kind of curious where to see that. So Mike is very, I mean, like everybody has said, Mike or Nacho is basically the Jesse Pinkman of this show.
Yeah, yeah,
So and hence why now it makes a lot more sense is, you know, why Mike is eventually able to ultimately respect Jesse as opposed to someone like Walter,
yeah,
because Walter is just even Walter is just very selfish.
yeah. Oh yeah.
He's very now people say he's evil. I don't think he's evil, but
Uh,
he is extremely selfish. But then again, selfish. If you
s-
listen to George Lucas, the way of the Sith is pure selfishness. So maybe
I mean,
selfishness can be equated to
self-absorbed.
evil.
Yeah, self-absorbed. Selfish is probably the best way. Everything is about what the effects have on him. Even his family. He's using the family thing to as an excuse until he finally just he likes it. He likes the
Yeah,
recognition. It's his turf, that type of thing. So yeah,
it's like he said.
completely different.
It's like he says he's in the. Walt said he was in the empire building business and
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. Yeah,
But he still. I mean, he cared. But the thing is, he cared about Jesse.
he did.
Now he cared more about Jesse than he cared about his own son, Walter Jr. And
Yeah.
so because of that, Walter Jr. completely, by the end of the show, and it's not a happy thing, completely disowns him.
Yep.
But what I loved about the ending was that despite the fact that even though we learned that we of course we learned why Walt did what he did was for himself, but he manages to salvage his situation and basically do what he initially wanted to do, or his initial motivation was to provide money for his
Yeah.
family
Yep.
from the moment he died.
Right.
And so instead of doing that, instead of just giving it to him because he tried to give it to him directly, and they're like, no, we're not taking your money, screw you.
Yeah.
So he blackmails his colleagues from that company. I forgot. I haven't watched Breaking Bad in a while. I forgot the name of the company.
Gray matter.
Gray Matter. That's
Yeah.
right. So he blackmails them and stuff. And to me, that was I was happy with the ending.
Yeah.
They played Baby Blue by Badfinger. Of course, that's a very common radio song, but I felt it was a great I love, like I said earlier, I love the music that Peter Gould, Vince Gilligan, all the guys that run, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul chose. Like they choose like all these, songs that are like forgotten, kind of like the way
Yeah.
Tarantino chooses songs for his
Well,
movies and
and they all
stuff.
fit the situations too. It's
Yes,
you know it's almost it adds to the story of the music that's being played.
like
It just
I love the Frank, like they played that, I forget the name of that Frank Sinatra song that they played when they show Kim and Jimmy and they're kind of drifting apart. That opening
yeah,
segment, I
I
think it was
know what
season
you're talking
four.
about. I'm not a big Sinatra guy, so but I know what you're talking about.
Dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun, dun,
yeah,
dun, dun.
yeah.
Yeah, that song. And then
Man, yeah,
they played again. They played again last season, the episode after Bagman, when we see Kim is worried about Jimmy, and then Jimmy's like walking with Mike and stuff, and they played a more melancholy version of it, but just an instrumental. I love that. I just
yeah,
love that and stuff.
yeah.
And
It is.
them playing Andy Williams in this episode that was in the trailer, I
Yeah.
love that too.
Well, it's pretty like Kim, the turn, man, the turn in Kim has been sort of like like she got a little taste of it and now she's off to the races. She's being pretty savage right now. It's sort of like even more so than Saul a little bit, with the whole Kettleman situation. It's like,
Oh,
whoa.
dude, the Kettlemans, they came
The,
back. I didn't
the
think they were gonna come
Kettlemans,
back into the story.
well, I saw the American Green thing, and I'm like, no way, they're gonna be back. And then it's like, there they are. I'm like, oh, these freaking doofuses. I couldn't help but laugh as soon as I saw. I'm like, these freaking idiots are back.
But you know what they're doing. You know what they're doing. I saw this, and they did this with if you ever watch Star Trek: The Next Generation, they show begins. The show ends where it begins, and I feel the Kellmans are Better Call Saul's example of because the
Yeah,
show begins with Saul trying to get work with the Kettlemans for their
right.
little thing and
Yep.
stuff,
Yeah,
and
full circle.
now they're brought back into the thing, and they're the ones with the Statue of Liberty wacky wave, or I forget what they call those things. Those air. What are those things called?
What was
The
that? Sorry,
wacky,
say.
the wacky waving and arm flailing tube men, the
Oh,
air
just
tube
the
men.
the
What is that? What
advertising
do they call
balloons,
those?
guys. I'm not. I don't know the
Are they
exact
called
name.
balloons and stuff? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. To be honest, all I know is they're crazy and eye catching. I don't know what that. I've never even really. I don't know that I've known the name of those things. Not that it's really important.
And we have Falstop here. Hunter, what's up, Hunter? He says, "Hey, is that you, Nerporial? Face reveal? Yeah, I just got monetized. So I just as a present for
Yay!
monetization, I revealed my face. So here I am." So, and Tom Forsyth says the Frank Sinatra song is called "Something Stupid," which was also
That's not
name of the
nice,
episode.
man. It's a good song. It's not stupid. I'm sorry. I'm a father of three. It's a bad joke. What can I say?
That's
Bad
all right.
dad joke. What can I do?
Hey, when I was working, I used to say dad jokes to all the youngsters. They're like, "Come on, Brian, what the heck?" So, all right, let's see.
Sorry, I
Um,
didn't miss that. I'm my kid. Speak of kids, give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
all right, that's fine. That's fine. All right, so yes, so we got we so Zach Payne says, got a theory. The name changing man could come back into play and relocate Nacho. Nacho's dad dies somehow in the myths. Nacho comes back for Saul during the black and white scenes looking for Saul. That's interesting. I don't know. The name changing man. Oh, you're talking about the vacuum cleaner guy, right? Um, I don't know if his actor. I don't know if they're not probably not gonna bring him back. Robert Forster passed away literally the day that El Camino came out, so we're not gonna see the vacuum cleaner guy again. So maybe someone associated with him. We'll see. I hope. I'm really hoping for Nacho. I'm keeping my fingers for Nacho. Like his arc is the one that I'm most invested in this season. Of course, I want to see Jimmy and Kim. I don't know what's gonna happen to Kim. Kim has become Kim is like as everyone says Kim is Breaking Bad. I can't wait to see this. So tube balloon. Okay, it's a tube balloon. All right, tube balloon it is. Advertising tube balloon. So all right, so I am yeah. I hope Nacho doesn't die too. Him and his dad. I mean, I am thinking because Breaking Bad was very dark the way it ended and stuff. I want Better Call Saul to end on a lighter note. Now, this is not just ending its story, it's also ending a portion of Breaking Bad's story too. So I'm hoping it ends on a lighter note. I hope it ends on a hopeful note and stuff. So that's just me.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
So, all right. So I'm going to continue. So I'm on scene 4 where basically we see the ant on the corpse of a person. It's a very nice shot
Yeah.
on a finger, and we see that it's the bodies that Lalo is the bodies that the mercenaries and Lalo dispatch. I couldn't believe Lalo dispatched all those guys. That was
Yeah.
just
Right.
so awesome at the end of the season. And then the way it ends, he just walks towards the camera. He's like, I'm coming. That was just basically, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you,
Yeah.
Nacho
Lalo is.
and Gus and
Yeah.
all you jerks.
Well, it's funny because I think he's looking for Nacho, but like his focus was. Does he even mention Nacho when he's talking to?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. So he's like, his focus is even though Nacho pretty much, uh, was the cause. Well, not the cause, but a major factor in all that happening. He wasn't even directly in his sights. It's everybody else.
Oh no. But the one thing there's that the way they shot when he looks at the alcohol at the end of season 5, he knows. He knows because Nacho was unaccounted for, that Nacho is a traitor and stuff. So now
Oh yeah.
everybody's after him. Eladio, everybody's after him. The Salamancas are all after him, and now the Federales are after him. Everybody's after him. So this is the tension is high. The tension is high. The thrill is really high. Like I can't. What movie? Like I'm trying to think of a movie where a guy's on the run, stuff like The Fugitive or something. Kind of like at that
Fugitive's
level
good.
of
Yeah.
tension. So
Yeah, I don't know, but Fugitive is sort of like, I mean, it's sort of different because I think especially at this point, everybody thinks Lalo's dead,
yeah,
and
that's
even
true.
except Gus is sort of maybe doesn't really quite believe it, but I think everybody else is pretty much signed sealed. I found it interesting that they said the dental records matched. It's like, well, I mean, I guess Lalu's got people's dental records as his for just this occasion. It's sort of 4D chess right there.
Yeah. And yeah. So everybody think all the Salamancas think he's dead. Um, and heck, he even tries. The only person that knows he's not dead is well, now two. But as the episode goes on, he calls. He's about to go on a transport, with other people to be. I'm
Yes,
guessing to be smuggled into the United States and
I would
stuff.
assume. Yeah, yeah,
Um, and he calls Hector, and so he tells Hector that he's alive, and Hector's like, "Is there proof?" And then Lalo really thinks about it. He's like, "Yes, there is proof. There is proof.
it's
There is proof that he did it, and I'm gonna go find him.
I do
I'm gonna
have to
go get the
laugh.
proof."
I have to laugh that just another just tidbit of great storytelling is just all the hoops that Lalo and Hector have to go through to just be able to talk to each other. It's one of those like, the nurse is like, oh, he's getting a little riled up. He's like, no, we're talking. Can you please put him back on the phone? That's him responding to me type thing, right? Without him, he's just like, okay, I'll be more calm. I'll make sure. He just got a little excited, but can you please put him
Yeah,
back on the phone? We're talking about something important. Can you please fuck off?
yeah,
It's
exactly,
like-
exactly, exactly. So, but yeah, yeah, just that scene was super duper. I love that scene. But yeah, so who do we see that walks back into the series? We see the twins, the
yeah.
Salamanca twins, the ones that are like, you don't f with these guys. These guys, they're there. You step as they walk in a path. You step aside
Yeah,
because they
some
will kill you.
mean men right there, man. I mean, talk about yeah, my God, those guys. If there's ever been an intimidating pair, it's those guys.
Oh yeah, like especially the way they were in season 3 of Breaking Bad. Especially remember in the house, they go into Walt's house. He's taking a shower, and they're sitting on the bed waiting for him to get out of the shower to kill
Yeah.
him.
Oh my
And then
God.
and then by the and then of course Mike is there. Mike is there seeing this. He calls Gus, and then Gus orders them off. Gus orders them off, and then they leave, and then Walt walks out of the bathroom, not knowing what happened.
Yeah.
It was stuff like that.
Well,
Just it
that's
just
another interesting thought. Why is Gus ordering them around? Hmm.
I don't know.
I mean, obviously a new development somewhere in there. I mean, obviously later in the episode, some things progress, but obviously I don't think they're obviously the fists. They're not the they're not the brains. They're just the fists. So I mean, I would assume that they'll follow whoever they think is they're loyal to whoever's in charge, and I guess I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how that change occurs because I just remember them being introduced crawling up the hill in Breaking Bad. I don't remember if that was such a weird scene. They're just crawling up the hill to that prayer site. It's just like it's so weird to me. It was like, who are these guys?
Yeah, I know exactly. So Tom Forsyth is saying in the present day timeline, Gene looks up Skinny Pete only to find he got clean and became Chubby Pete. What in the Gene timeline?
Is that
I
I think he's joking.
I think he is too. I think he is too.
I like
And
it. I like it, but
Tom Forsyth says the double's wife thanked Lalo for paying for his dental work. That's why the records matched. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
oh, that's right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Very good. Very good. Absolutely. As soon as you said that,
Yeah.
it clicked. As soon as they're there talking about that, right last episode of the season. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Good catch, Tom. Good catch.
Nice, nice. Thank you. All right. So the Salamanca twins are basically walking across, the police scene, and they look at the burnt guy and they're dumbfounded because they think it's Lalo.
Yep.
And when they look dumbfounded, then that holds a lot of weight because they generally are as emotionless as or dead-eyed as any other member of the cartel and stuff. So that was a very interesting thing. And then we get to Gus, who was in the Breaking Bad office in that little house and stuff. Um, Don Juan calls him, and then we find out Ignacio has a price on his head, and he says no one is above suspicion. These are very dangerous times. He basically, in his own way, tells Gus to tread carefully. That's just page one. I wrote like 4 or 5 pages of notes. Mike comes in with Tyrus, and Gus suspects foul play. Gus doesn't think this adds up. Like everyone's dead, all the mercenaries are dead, and yet Lalo's also dead. He's like, that doesn't make sense. And
Right.
Mike's like, it's been known to happen, but not very likely. So and Mike basically says, once again, following up on last season, he basically tries to persuade Gus to bring Nacho Varga back and cut him loose because of the game that he played and the personal stakes that he had to go through to get it and stuff. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Mike again pulling for Nacho. I'm sort of you know what? Yeah, you sort of had him by the throat, but he still came through pretty big for you and did everything you told him to do without much pushback at all, really.
yeah. So we find out Ignacio has Gus's respect. Mike leaves, and he's basically Mike basically says he's playing a really tough game, and he's also on the square. He's done everything they've asked. So, of course, things don't exactly turn out that way as we go further into the episode. So the next scene is in the courthouse, Kim and Jimmy. So basically, Kim goes and handles her pro bono clients, and Jimmy goes and he ends up being pulled aside by the prosecutor who was prosecuting, Mr. De Guzman, Lalo's
Yeah,
case and stuff,
Mr.
and
de
and
Guzman.
and the same detective who was in Breaking Bad helping helping
Hank, right?
Hank,
Yeah.
helping out Hank, and he was also in the last season that the woman that witnessed Lalo killing the guy at the travel place. I think he's the detective that she talks
He
to
is.
and stuff.
I'm pretty
That's
sure he
his
is. Yeah.
number is the one that Mike gives to her to talk to.
Right. I'm pretty sure.
And
Absolutely.
so they both basically go to they basically walk up to Jimmy. They want to change the conditions of the agreement and stuff, and they basically say, "Hey, that family, that family was fake. I think, and I think you knew it too." And Jimmy's like, "Oh no, 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 no! You can't say this stuff. You know, if you try to go after me, I'm gonna have you guys for prosecutorial misconduct." And and yeah, so they wanted to get a meeting. He's like, "Hey, I'm busy. Sorry, tough luck."
Yeah, and then the slip of the tongue happens, which is probably going to catch up to him.
Yeah, he says Lalo, and they're like, "Who's Lalo?" "Oh, he's one of my other clients."
Yeah.
But
Yep.
the one thing that I kind of what did they there was one thing I didn't write down that he did say. He was based they wanted to change the terms of the agreement, and he's like, well, he gave seven. Jimmy's argument against that was like, hey, he gave you guys $7 million. Do you think he's going to leave $7 million and stuff and become a flight risk? I think he's going to want it back.
Yeah.
So he's like, he has every right to appear on the court date that was assigned.
Yep.
So of course, I'm curious. I'm curious if Lalo is going to be part of Lalo's going to be part of is going to be part of Jimmy is going to continue to be part of Jimmy's story. I hope it does because
I
I want to see I mean I don't mind them trying to ruin Cliff Main and mainly Howard Hamlin and stuff, but
yeah.
I want to see Mike and Jimmy together working together
Yeah,
like they
Lalo,
especially
yeah, well, with, yeah, I don't know if Lalo, it would be interesting to see. I don't know how they could work Lalo back into Saul's story at this point, because anything, I mean, I guess unless it's another threat, but I mean,
yeah
I feel like their story is almost, it's nice to see them playing off each other because they're two great actors, but.
yeah
It'd be interesting to see if they could manage to make it work. But I mean, if Saul's with Mike, who knows, right? I mean,
yeah
it just judging by the obviously Mike and Saul business relationship grows from here, but
yeah
uh, I would, especially just from some of the previews, it looks like uh, Lalo's basically gonna be deep undercover and doing tradecraft, trying to assassinate people and doing all kinds of down low shake up stuff, getting back for them coming after the Salamanca clan. But who knows? Maybe there's another Saul Lalo moment. I think it's gonna burn. Just that little Lalo thing is just enough with them to run with to get Jimmy in a lot of trouble. And obviously, Lalo's not gonna be there to bail him out.
yeah. I mean, I'm hoping, yeah, I think maybe Lalo wants to tie up some loose ends and maybe he goes after Jimmy or Saul or something, and maybe even Kim too. Who knows at this point?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I, I hope that Jimmy still has some, has still some room in that particular story and
Well,
stuff.
do you feel like Lalo? Now I know where Lalo and uh, Kim and Saul left off. Do you think he was satisfied with Kim's outrage at how he was treating Saul? And
Um,
do you think he bought that, or do you think he's pretty sure that
I
Saul betrayed him?
I that's a hard one. I don't think he's completely sold, but
Yeah,
I don't. But he probably um, he had Kim really pointed out other concerns,
right. Because
his other concerns.
that's a way to get them back together. Because it's like Saul's just another loose end at that point, and
Yeah,
you know what? If Kim dies, there you go. I mean that could be, could be a her instead of Saul moment type there, which would suck for Kim and suck for us because Kim's great. But I don't. The more and more I'm watching this, I don't think Kim's gonna make it. She's turning real dark.
well, it's either she dies, which I honestly don't think I'm not. I don't think that's going to happen. Either Kim gets disbarred, or she makes it really big, and
Yeah,
or
could
maybe
be.
maybe here's another thing. Maybe during Breaking Bad, she's the one pulling Saul's strings the whole time.
Yeah, it's possible. There could be something in the background there. It's they did a
So
good enough job with Saul being in the forefront, but not in the forefront. He's there, but you don't really know anything about
because
him in Breaking Bad.
we never see his personal life. We see him either at his office or he meets with Walter or Jesse somewhere and they talk business and stuff.
Well, and I
So
know there's a second wife comment in Breaking Bad. I don't know if I forget. I'd have to look up the context, but I know he mentions her.
yeah,
In
well,
it,
I think
yeah.
Kim's his third wife.
Is
Kim's
it
his
third?
Yeah, I think he was married twice before.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're
I
right. You're right.
think.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
then
what. Yeah.
I don't know if it was, I think it was his second wife that cheated on him with this guy, and then of course that's where he performed, the Chicago sunroof. And then of course of course he was drunk, and then the kids, the
Yeah.
guy's kids were there and stuff, and then that's how he,
Yeah. The
he got in
Chicago.
trouble, and his brother got him off, and then that's how he ends up in Albuquerque and stuff, as part of Chuck's um, demand. He's like, you want me to do this for you, you're going to have to clean yourself up, and you're coming with me, and you're going to work in the mailroom at
Yeah.
HHM.
Yeah.
So, but we're
Chicago
going into
sunroof, man. Gotta love it, right?
yeah, exactly. So we're going, and so this kind of ties into the next scene where we're at the El Camino dining room. Get it? El Camino, the name of the movie.
Yes, I did. I did see that. I'm like, yeah, yeah. Netflix has been
Clever,
trying to get me to
clever.
watch El Camino again. Like,
And I want to say Pacific 414 stopping by to leave a like. Pacific, you should watch better. You should watch Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. You want to
yes,
watch good shows? Don't watch all that Marvel crap. Don't watch all the Star Wars
no,
crap.
none
Watch
of it.
Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Here,
Be
here.
live a little, Mike,
Yeah,
and everybody subscribe to Pacific 414. He does pop talk and he does box score. So he talks sports and pop culture. So everybody,
nice,
subscribe to him. I always plug his channel and stuff. So,
cool.
um,
Pay it forward,
but
man. Right?
Jeannie Lumley says Jimmy knows during Breaking Bad that Lalo was alive. So I'm
Yes.
guessing he hears from him at some point, possibly, or maybe
Not
Jimmy just never was in the loop, and only Mike and Gus knew that
well. I mean,
Lalo was dead. But who knows? I mean,
you
it could
assume
be anything.
you assume him and Mike are talking. Mike could just said something like, "Hey, you need to keep your head down. Lalo's still out there somewhere," or something.
Yeah.
Or it could just be, they're not buddies. I mean, they're business associates. Mike could just not tell him, and he has, you know,
No.
as of right now, Jimmy and Kim, for that matter, have no idea what the hell is going on with Lalo. All other than him and Nacho drove away from their apartment, and then they ran for the hills. So,
Yeah,
uh,
Jimmy and Kim are now in the game according to Mike, but they're not quite as in the game, as deep in the game as like Mike and everybody else. Everyone that's directly involved with the cartel. They're only have their foot in, whereas
well,
Mike and all them have their entire their entire being is in the game and
well,
stuff.
I don't know. I think Saul's pretty in the game. I mean, he muled $7 million from the border for him. I mean, Kim. I think has her big pinky toe in it, but I think Saul's a little bit more deeper in than Kim is.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that goes without saying.
yeah.
But he's more of a civilian compared to Mike. Like he's
Yes.
not
Yes. Yes.
privy
Yes.
to the information that Mike has and stuff. So the only thing that like he says in Breaking Bad, he's like, I know a guy who knows a guy when he refers uh, Walter to Gustavo.
Yeah.
So
You're the guy for this.
yeah, that's next week. I thought we were going to see that this episode, but we're going to see that next week. The guy who gets his head crushed by the vending machine. Remember in Breaking
Yes, I
Bad when they're in
do. I actually.
that's a guy, and it was because of there's a great channel I want to shout out that goes through all of Better Call Saul lore. I don't know if you ever listened to him. He's called the Vivid Kiwi, and he was the one that point. I think he was the one that pointed this out. And that's how I learned because I didn't recognize the guy right away because he looked totally different in Breaking Bad. He was completely all
Yeah.
drugged out and looked filthy and stuff. In this he's clean. He's wearing a suit. He's like, "You're the guy.
You're
You're
the guy.
Salamanca's guy."
You're the guy. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. You're gonna get your head crushed by Skank.
So
And
Pacific responds to my thing by saying, "I will give Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul a look. Who knows? I might like the shows and review them for Pacific 414 episode reviews." Well, you should, and if you need someone to talk about with,
definitely
yeah,
should.
I might know somebody. I might know somebody. So, but yeah, once again, everybody, where's my finger? There it is. Subscribe to Pacific 414. Okay, let's
You
get
get
him to two. Let's get him to 200 subs.
you're getting camera vertigo, man.
Yeah, I'm not used to. I'm not used. This is like my second video with
Yeah.
the camera on, or third video with the camera on. So I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure eventually it'll get to be second nature for you.
oh, eventually,
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah, yeah.
So going back to that, so we're at the El Camino dining hall, and of course Jimmy gets there and he sees Kim talking to the client, has him, wear a suit and stuff. They leave, and of course her client's a kid who was framed, or who was associated with this rich kid who held up a store and stuff, typical story. And of course, the rich kid's family hired the best lawyers, and they're basically shifting all the blame onto this kid. So we learn a little bit about that. I don't think that has anything to do with the story, but I thought it was kind of
Well,
interesting, so I wrote
I
it down.
think the reason it's in there is to show that Kim is still doing good, even though she's got this bad streak where she's going after wants to go after man Hamlin and
Yeah.
in proxy Cliff. It made man I don't know, man, it must be getting late. I'm losing the names of the law firms. Uh,
Davis and
but
Maine.
Davis and Maine, there you go. Sorry,
Yeah.
going after Cliff and Hamlin. You know, that's pretty dark, but she is still fighting for the little guy and doing good work for people that deserve some good representation and people that are being persecuted for not necessarily stuff that they uh, should be punished for or punished as severely for. So I think that's our purpose, to show that she's doing good, uh, but she wants her pound of flesh, I guess, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So we go, and then we learn that they basically talk about Saul Goodman. So Saul Goodman needs a new car and an office, and it's Kim that suggests it have flair,
Yeah,
American made and stuff, very patriotic.
yeah,
Hence you get the Statue of Liberty advertising,
right.
air tube thing, whatever. What was it called again? Uh, Advertising tube balloon. The
Yeah, there
Statue
you
of
go.
Liberty advertising tube balloon, and of course you have the Constitution in
Yeah,
Saul's office.
yeah. It's amazing how much you're finding out that all his inspiration has basically been Kim. And
Yeah,
whether, I mean, that would be an interesting take. I'm expecting a twist with her at the end. I hope she did. I hope she's the quote unquote man behind Saul, or the woman behind Saul. She's the brains.
the
He's the
puppet master.
face, right?
She's the
She
puppet
she
master.
ends up sort of fully embracing, Saul Goodman, and he is financing her quest for justice in the public defender's office. I think that'd be awesome if that's actually where they end up. I hope that, and
Yeah, she
secretly, I
does.
hope that's where it
Yeah,
ends
she
up.
does not want to, like I said earlier, she quit. She got no satisfaction out of doing the banking law for Vesa
Well,
Verde, and
well,
I couldn't
she's
believe it. I couldn't believe we see Kevin. We see Kevin Wachtel again. I thought he was
yeah,
out of the show, but we see him again at the club.
yeah, and they're doing a great job of that stuff. But I mean, she even says it right at the scene. She says, "Best day of my career."
Yeah,
Everything, best day of my career, just defending these people that need help.
yeah.
And
She
then you
didn't
go
have
right.
to. Yeah, she didn't
Go,
have to worry about Paige calling her and saying, "Hey, we need you here now.
yeah,
We have
yep,
a problem. We
yep,
can't have the paralegals doing this. We need you, our main counsel, for
yeah.
this."
And that it
And
was
of
just
course,
funny that
she completely blew them off and
yeah.
did her pro bono stuff, and then got in trouble with Paige and stuff,
And then here we are. Yeah.
and it's
But
very similar to how Jimmy felt when he was working for Davis and Maine,
yep.
especially with the whole video, especially when he made the video and he
Yes.
didn't. But his mistake was, and I'm gonna stop the cam really quickly. Uh, he's basically he went behind, he went over their shoulders and stuff, like, and put the video
Yeah,
out,
didn't
representing the
clear it.
company. And I mean, if you don't go through, if you don't go through, the proper channels, you know.
Yeah, Jimmy was actually in the wrong in that one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's like you might have a good idea, but you're not the boss. And it's like I sort of get where he was coming from. It's like, well, it's my department,
Yeah, he's
but
because they
but
said, you're in charge of,
yeah.
you're in
So it's one
charge
of
of
those. I
this.
know that's what he's using to say he was in the right, but he would look. You're putting out a commercial for that whole firm, and yeah, he was in
Yeah,
the
so
wrong
the
in that one. I
partners
think.
the partners have to have a say.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's like, when I worked for my company, anything that goes outside of engineering, he has to have approval of the director, the one in charge
Right.
of our department. If we don't do that, we get in a lot of trouble. It's the same
Yeah.
idea. I mean, the whole idea is, we're a team. You work as a team,
Yeah.
not as, I mean, you're either a team or you're not. And
Yeah.
if
I
you're
did
in a working
feel.
environment, you have to think that you have to be team player. There's no I in team.
Yeah, and it's one of those. I hope that Davis and Maine doesn't get too hurt in all this revenge on Hamlin, just because I feel like they were actually really good to. Just wasn't a good fit for Jimmy. I feel like they were really good
And
to
of course
him.
the metaphor,
Yeah,
the metaphor was in the company car with the coffee cup, the best lawyer, and it couldn't fit. It couldn't
yeah,
fit
exactly.
into the
And
Davis and Main
God,
company
it's
car.
so good, man. Like, I mean, you don't get this type of storytelling anymore. It's so good, but
No,
yeah,
I
it's.
agree.
And I think they were just so like they tried. It was one of those, it just didn't fit, just like you said, the metaphor, and they went their separate ways. And even their parting was like, you know what? I see what you're doing. You want your bonus. Here's your
Yeah.
bonus. Get the hell out of here. What did we do wrong? I thought we were good to you. It's like you did nothing wrong. And it's like okay. So I really hope they don't get too damaged in this because I feel like they were generally doing a lot of good things in the show for Jimmy, and I don't think they deserve the woman scorned revenge treatment.
We'll have to see with that. So,
Yeah, right.
yeah. So back to the episode. So basically, they're just basically coming up with ideas and stuff on how to go after them so they can get the sandpiper money. Well, let's just say they're like, maybe we shouldn't go towards Howard directly. Maybe we should start with Cliff and stuff. So
I
they,
found it pretty interesting. A lot of this is her, isn't it? Like a lot of it's
yeah,
her ideas. It's like wow, she's
yeah,
full in.
because Jimmy he's still Jimmy. He's not quite Saul at this point. So
Yeah,
we so he's kind of he's hesitant. He's
yeah,
hesitant about
he
this.
really is. Yeah,
So we see them discuss it. They begin discussing what they're going to do, and of course, we as the viewer don't know what they're saying because what we're hearing is we're not hearing them from the outside of the place, and they do this quite a bit in Better Call Saul. So we don't exactly see what's going on. They did this with when Howard talks to Jimmy and they close the door. We don't hear exactly what's being said, but we basically know what's being
yeah,
said. And
right.
the same when Kim goes and talks to Rich and basically says, "Hey, I'm quitting" and stuff. She closes the door. Same
Yep.
idea. Well, they did the same thing here, where we're outside and we're not hearing what the plan is because the us seeing the plan, them showing us the plan is the payoff.
Yeah.
This show, unlike current Marvel or Star Wars or a lot of shows now, this show shows and doesn't tell,
Yeah. Well, and it trusts the viewers to just be not to be
to pay
smart,
attention and
to
to pay
pay attention
attention.
and be smart, and
Yeah,
you get paid off for paying attention, and even if you're not that astute, and I am not sometimes,
I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed either.
they
There were
do a good
things.
job of it's one of those they leave your breadcrumbs, and if you pick up on it, you're like, I see what's happening, and even if you
Yeah,
don't get there, they eventually still make it so you understand what's going on,
yep.
and I like that a lot.
Yeah, this was a very long, like this was practically a movie. This was like from 8 p.m. to
Yeah.
10:30. This was 2.5 hours. Like I was a few minutes late because the episode literally ended at 10:30.
Yeah, well, the
So
second episode was over an hour, like
yeah,
without commercials. I was like,
yeah.
"Whoa, this is awesome."
How did you watch it? Did you watch it on AMC Plus like I
I
did?
ended up doing that. Yeah, I started to on AMC, but then like I had my interruption, so I went right to AMC Plus, and I first episode was 57 some odd minutes without commercials. second episode's hour and, like 30 seconds. It's like Jesus. It's like, man, I
Yeah.
better hurry up. How am I gonna 2 times speed? Go.
Yeah. So let's continue.
So I'm sure I
So,
missed a lot. I gotta have to go. I'm gonna watch them again and enjoy them a little bit more, but
dude,
get all the
I
context.
I'm rewatching this right. I'm probably once
Yeah,
the stream
yeah.
is over, I'm gonna rewatch the episode. That's how
Oh,
that's how great these episodes are. I want to
do you
rewatch
sleep,
it.
man? Jeez.
Uh, well,
No. Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
when it's necessary. You
Yeah.
know, like what does Arnold say? Sleeping is for
Yeah.
P 5 letter word starting with P stuff. Same idea. Who needs sleep?
All
Uh,
right. All right. You're a stronger man than I, but continue. Continue.
so we're on another Nacho scene. He's hiding in a sewer. I think it was a sewer pipe, and we see he's still being hunted. He's hiding from federales, and he runs towards a motel, climbs over the wall, and he basically goes inside, goes to the desk. This is in the middle of the night. He goes to the desk. The woman's watching TV. She just gets up. She gets up, picks up the key, puts it down, doesn't even look him in the eye, and then
Yeah.
goes right back to watch TV. Not a
A little
word.
creepy. A little
Yeah.
creepy.
So I mean, she obviously knows that this is on the low and low. Don't
Oh yeah.
the less you know, the better. So
Wonder
he
how mu-
goes.
Wonder how much money she got for this. Probably quite a nice stack, I would assume.
Who Nacho?
No, no, the hotel of the down low. You don't know who's
Oh,
here.
yeah,
Here's a stack of cash.
yeah. And you don't mess with these people. You mess with
Yeah,
these people, you're dead. I mean,
absolutely.
that's so he goes. He basically checks into his room, and he basically finds an envelope on his bed. There's money and there's a gun with a magazine.
Yep.
He calls Tyrus. So Tyrus is his contact. Tyrus basically confirms. Basically, Tyrus, just confirms that he's there, and says, "Hey, you gotta wait for a few days before." I think he says a couple days. There's gonna be like you have to jump onto like a pickup truck, and that's how we're gonna get you and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're gonna keep going. They're not gonna wait. So you're gonna have to be ready and stuff.
Right.
So, of course, we find out that ultimately doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So,
No, not at all.
and of course, the next scene is, and of course, Nacho's very concerned, and he actually tries to call Mike, which leads into the next scene. Mike is playing that little marble game where you put
Yeah.
together like the little marble pass and stuff. I
I
used to have
have
that
that.
game.
I actually have those exact things somewhere in this house.
I bought it from my friend Brian's daughter. I think I bought it for she's 6 years old now and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's played a lot of it, but I used to love playing that when I was that age and stuff. Just putting together things, just like slipping them in, and like just having the like build like a little tower and just have the marble going all the way down, and stuff. I used to love doing that. So and
Well,
it's
they're
the
a bit
same.
mesmerizing too when they got a good one going. It's like,
Oh
ooh,
yeah.
look at yeah,
Yeah, the problem was I never built any that were stable. I would have like two posts and stuff instead of having like you need to have at least three or four to make it kind of to have the
yeah, stable.
stable and supported and stuff. So, but yeah. So Nacho calls Mike during this. Mike looks at the phone and he ignores it. He ignores it. So I'm wondering. Now, the episode ended with Mike basically speaking up for Nacho. He's basically Nacho's only ally within Gus's um, inner circle. So I'm curious if Mike's ultimately going to abandon Nacho.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I, I don't know. I'm wondering if that's why Mike's following Saul at the end of two, something to do with Nacho. But I don't know. I think he sort of stands firm against. I mean, he spoke up for. I mean, he's the only one that's stood up to Fring at all. Period.
Yeah,
And he's going out on a ledge for Nacho here, and I think rightfully so. Just to because this and
I
then
mean,
the whole dad scene. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but just like man, I hope he doesn't abandon him. I just don't feel like that's in Mike's character. I would
I
hope
I
they
hope
don't.
not either. I hope not either.
I don't think I don't think Mike would do that, especially since he's decided. It's like Mike's decided. We're gonna help Nacho. I'm gonna help Nacho. Nacho's gonna Nacho's gonna live through this, so I'm gonna do whatever I can to make sure
Because
it
I
does.
mean,
So
this series, I mean, Mike's role in this series basically to show his, moral decline, and of course we've seen his decline. I mean, he killed Warner at the end of season 4. Then he killed all those guys in the Bagman episode. So I mean,
yep.
he's not
Well,
now
hell,
he's not
just
above killing now. So
yeah. Well, that and then just you see where he ends up, Breaking Bad. I mean,
yeah,
he's
and
the cleaner. When Pinkman's girlfriend dies,
yeah.
he just goes in, cleans it up, says this. It's like whoa.
And but here's the thing, like if you've seen Jonathan Banks, you've seen him in other stuff. He always smacks a person. I mean, you've seen Beverly. If you ever seen
Yeah,
Beverly Hills Cop, he
yeah,
smacks Mikey Tandino in that movie. And I was
yeah,
like, is he gonna slap Jesse? When I first watched this, I recognized him right away. Who
yeah.
can? Nobody. Jonathan Banks has that just unique dead look,
Yes.
that dead stone look
It's
to
something
him.
about his eyes too, man. It's just like
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, like yeah, it's just like he can't keep them open all the way, and he just looks like he's dead and stuff. But I was like, is he gonna smack? I'm like, is he gonna smack Jesse? And you know what he does? He smacks Jesse, and that's another reason why I kept watching the show. This show just basically met all my expectations and stuff, and it just Breaking Bad just kept getting better and better and better as I kept watching it. And I was really
Yeah.
enjoying it, and so when I watched, this was the only show that this is the only show I've watched from the very beginning. I've
Yeah.
not watched any
Oh.
other show from the very beginning, and can continually enjoyed it.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think Better Call Saul's given Breaking Bad definitely a run for its money. Uh, I hope it sticks the landing. I really do. So far, so good. Um, but right now, it's hard to pick a favorite out of the two. I mean, they're both excellent.
I think Better Call Saul might be the better show, just because of just the way it's written, the characters, the acting, the
I wouldn't
quality of
argue
it,
with you.
the
I
quality
could
of the
go either way.
story.
Yeah.
Now, Breaking Bad was more of a thriller, more of an action thriller, family focused show and stuff. But I mean, I'll be honest. I'm all the characters in the show are intriguing. All the characters are interesting. Breaking Bad, the characters all on my on Walt's end, in the with when it comes to the drugs and stuff, those were interesting. His family was not interesting, but not interesting until the end when everything had to be revealed, everything unraveled from that, and then that's when it got interesting with the family. Until then, no, like
Yeah.
like Skylar's Beneke affair, or
Yeah.
Skylar doing that. Skylar was just like,
Yeah, Skylar. I wasn't a big Skylar. Right, Skylar. I mean,
heck,
yeah,
even
I don't
even
want to get
even
off
Kay
on a Breaking
Corleone
Bad
wasn't
thing,
bad.
but
Even Kay Corleone was, well, actually Kay Corleone was pretty bad. She's like, it
I
was a
just, yeah, I
Russian,
could,
Michael.
I
But
don't know. Skylar just, I don't know. Even before, I don't know. I have my. It's like I don't know that Skylar's in the wrong too much with what Walt was doing
no,
a lot of
she's not.
lying and shit, but
No,
uh,
but
yeah,
she just started losing it after she finds out that Walt killed Gus. But I mean, Gus was
yeah,
going to kill them.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I mean, it was either Gus or. But
yeah,
then again, there's. I mean, if you're a civilian, just the idea of killing someone is just you lose your soul.
yeah,
I mean, if you've read Harry Potter, same idea. In order to split your soul with the Horcrux, you have to murder somebody to lose your soul and stuff. So, but you lose a bit of yourself as you do it. And I think it's true to a degree.
Oh,
I think
I
I
think
think
so.
part of it's true. So,
Yeah,
but let's get back to the episode. Let's get
yeah,
back
yeah.
to
Sorry,
the.
got off track there.
Hey, it's fine. Yeah. So we're
We
at the
in the
golf. We're at the
golf
golf
course.
course
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
So
Kevin.
scene 10. So Jimmy
Just
walks to the golf club. It's
I just
hilarious.
find it
So
very interesting. All of them have the same golf course. Obviously, it's country club life. That's the whole point. But it's just
yeah. So
it's funny.
Cliff
They're
is
all
so
there.
Cliff so Cliff and Cliff and Howard are there, and also Kevin's there. Kevin Wachtel. I was like, wow, I didn't think we'd see him again. I didn't think we'd see him again. But so Jimmy walks in. He's Saul, and we see Kevin obviously, and then Kevin talks to the tour guy. He's like, I'm here for a tour. And then Kevin talks to the tour guide. I don't know if Jimmy expected Kevin to be there to have them, have
Yeah,
the tour guide cancel the tour. And he's like, "What is it? Because I'm Jewish or something? Is this anti-Semitism?" I laughed when I saw that.
Yeah,
It's like he's playing the race card.
well, I think that's the funniest thing about this is like you don't know if Kevin was just an opportunity to cause a distraction. Like it's like, okay, here's my way to cause this distraction, or if that was his plan,
Oh, it
right?
was no, it
Uh,
wasn't. I think it was. I think it was. I think it was. What do you call where a comedian uh,
Improv. He improv.
it was improvisation
Yeah,
because that's what Jimmy does. He
exactly.
basically
Yeah.
adapts. He adapts to the
Well,
situation.
went right into slipping Jimmy here, right?
Slipping
Yeah.
Jimmy. Yep, that's right. And of course he's like, "You're a greedy, money hungry," and he's like, anti-Semitism, dude, anti-Semitism. I
So
now
good.
if you're gonna do something like that in a show, that's how you do it. It's funny, it's hilarious. So
Well, it's on the note. It's like it's clear he's just. It's just perfect. It's so good.
Jimmy's like, the tour guide's apologizing to Jimmy like he's a Twitter like he's in a Twitter mob and stuff. He's like, "What can I do?" He's like, "Can I use your bathroom? I got diverticulitis or something." But here's the thing I didn't get. Like he was unrolling all the toilet paper, and I guess he did. Oh yeah, he caused.
It
Okay,
clogs the toilet up.
he caused the toilet to overflow so he can get into the locker room, and
Yeah.
then he plants
The
the powder and he
the
plants the
stuff.
powder, and of course he hides so Kim's basically telling Jimmy, abort, abort, they're on their way, they're coming back. So Cliff and Howard come back, they're in the locker room. Jimmy's there, he takes off his clothes, he's naked, so you see a little bit of his butt and stuff, the side of his his butt and stuff,
Woohoo!
and
Yeah.
he's hiding his face. He's basically has a towel on because you know how those old farts in the gym locker rooms or the country clubs are. They
Yeah.
walk buck naked. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm buck naked. I don't give a crap. Just, hey, look at me
Yeah.
and stuff.
Absolutely.
It was just that's what I thought when they did that. And of course, Jimmy's hiding himself, and then the powder falls when Howard opens his locker, and they're
Yeah.
like, "What is that? What do you think it is? Is
Yeah.
that it?"
It becomes clear what plan one for Howard is. Substance abuse. Give the appearance of a substance abuse problem, and then go from there. So
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did not think it would. I was like, where are they going with this? And
yeah.
then we see Kettleman's like, oh no.
Yeah, right after. Well, I found it funny. It's like, are they gonna find out it's baby powder? It's like, hell no. You know they're not even touching that. That stuff's already gone.
So
It's like,
here's the
and then
funny
right to
thing.
the Kettlemans.
Kim thought it was a failure, but Jimmy's like, no, it's not a failure.
No, yeah,
This was successful.
yeah. This is a success. Yep. Yeah.
So that's page 3 of my notes. So let's go to page 4.
All
So
right.
I have 7. I have 8 pages of notes. So I'm getting used to writing as watching these shows.
Yeah, your notes are getting pretty involved here. I missed the last Lord of the Rings stream, unfortunately, but yeah. Hey, it makes it easy to follow. I get to be the lazy one that just gets to bounce ideas off you. So I appreciate the hard work, sir.
Well, yeah, I want. Hey, they don't have Talking Saul anymore. I want to be the next Talking Saul.
Is it officially gone? Yeah, shit. I don't know.
I
That
don't
sucks.
know if it's gone. I'll be honest. I
I
haven't
didn't.
watched AMC in a long time.
Yeah, I'll have to check. But maybe they probably have it on Twitch or YouTube or something. I'll look it up. Just so I'm curious because
They
I
still have
don't know how
Talking
you could
Dead.
get
I
you
believe
still
they
get
still have.
Talking Dead because
Yeah,
8 million episodes of that show. But
yeah. And here's the thing. I used to watch Walking Dead and
me
Fear the
too.
Walking Dead, and I think I talked
Yep.
about it on my monetization stream. I stopped watching those shows.
Yep.
I stopped watching regular Walking Dead after season 8 when they killed off Carl. It's like, okay, I want to just see how this ends, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
And then they got rid of Rick and stuff. And then with Fear the Walking Dead, they killed off Madison, the main character. I'm like, why'd you kill her? You killed her off. You killed the dude she was dating off and
Yeah.
his kid, and you killed her son. The only one that's left was her daughter, and her daughter was my least favorite character.
Yeah. No. Well, the other ones are I guess
So now Fear the Walking Dead
well-paid
depends
actors.
on Fear the Walking Dead depends on people from Walking Dead. So you have Morgan in the show.
Yeah.
You have Dwight, the guy with the half burnt face,
Yep.
who was in the Saviors. He's
Yep.
now in the show. And apparently that one dude who they find on the boat, who had the boat and stuff, He's now the bad guy apparently from just watching this season
I,
7.
it's one of those things. It sounds like we stopped close to the same time. I stopped after Carl showed back up after hiding under the trash can and the fake out death. I was like, all right, I've had enough of this.
Oh,
It's getting
you're talking
ridiculous.
about Glenn. Glenn
Oh,
was the
not
one.
Carl, Glenn. I'm sorry,
Yeah, Glenn.
Glenn,
But
not
then
Carl. Sorry.
Then Glenn yeah, they had the fake out and then Glenn dies for real.
Yeah,
First they
it's
kill
just like,
Abraham and then, oh wait, we had another death here. Glenn. My buddy Marty saw that. He's like, I'm out. I'm not watching this
yeah,
anymore. So he
it's
didn't
just,
watch after
yeah,
that episode with
yeah.
Negan killing the guys. That was it for him.
I didn't even make it to Rick's exit. That was it for me. I was just like, this is
I didn't get to it
ridiculous.
either. I didn't get to it either.
Yeah. So
So
we got, yeah.
they're
So
doing one more season of Walking Dead. And
it's too
it got
much.
old. It just got old.
It should have ended years ago.
Yeah,
But
the deaths just have no weight anymore. They
yeah,
just kill for the sake of shock value.
yeah. It's yeah. Yep.
So,
Learning the wrong lessons. Absolutely. So
but here's the thing: with Better Call Saul, there's only been one major death in the show, and that was Chuck.
yep.
And Chuck's death was very meaningful because I mean, it built 3 seasons built up to that
Well, yeah, he
moment.
completed his arc. I mean, he
Yeah,
went full circle. There was nowhere else for him to go, really. I mean, he
yeah,
could have, recovery uh, or, or death. I mean, basically, right?
yeah. I mean, he basically lost everything. He wanted to get back in. He lost his purpose in life, and then his condition resurfaced worse than ever, and it just got to the point where he just couldn't. He didn't want to live anymore. He let the torch burn his house down, and he died. So
That was pretty crazy.
I did not see that coming. I gasped when I saw that. I
Yeah,
gasped
no,
when I saw the fire.
it was a shock, especially where you sort of saw something happening when he was tearing his house to shreds. But I didn't think it was going to end like that. I thought, he might get hospitalized or something
Yeah, and
really bad. But
the last thing he ever said to Jimmy was, "Hey, you never really mattered all that much to me."
yeah, oh, oh my God, yeah.
And
Uh,
then right after he said that, he basically, his relationship with Howard was destroyed, and
yeah,
his relationship with his brother was completely
the
destroyed. He had nobody.
yeah,
He was alone.
died alone, just
Yeah,
like Jimmy predicted. Yep.
yep.
So
In the beginning of that season too. So,
yep. 2 seconds. Be right
uh,
back.
all right. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. Um, so season 12. So Lalo is on a pickup truck. He has a face covering on. I guess it has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with what was going on during the 2 years in between season 5 and season 6. Something with a pandemic after that. But he gets dropped off and he gets on transport with illegals. Now we already briefly touched on it. So Lalo's still limping from last season. So I love the fact that they care about this thing called continuity. So Lalo's limping and he calls Hector, and of course he tells Hector, like I said earlier, that he thinks that it's Gus. He thinks that it's Gus that basically was the one that tried to kill him, with the mercenaries and stuff. And of course he's right because he's Lalo. Lalo's a good, good thing, good foil for Gus and stuff. Lalo's pretty smart and stuff. So we have Dick Marks is here. He says greetings, reporter. Well, welcome. Thank you for coming by. If you haven't watched Better Call Saul or watched Breaking Bad, you gotta watch these shows. I've never been this excited for a show in a long time. So I'm enjoying this stream right now. So I'm gonna be doing this every week for every episode. So we're basically he's basically talking he's talking to he's talking to Hector on the phone, and we get that little alphabet thing that they did in Breaking Bad, where he says the letters, and then of course Hector dings the bell to say yes for the word that they're trying to get out of him and stuff, and of course it was the word pareba, pareba, which is basically proof, and Lalo's like, yeah, I think I have proof, and so so he gets off the phone. He's like, you know what? I don't need to leave. I don't need to. I don't need to use the transport anymore. And the guy's like, this is non-refundable. He's like, guys, be nice. And then we don't see it because we're inside with the civilians, and we hear gunshots and screaming, and of course Lalo dispatched those 2 guys. So, excuse me one Sorry about that. Um, so yeah, so I'm basically so yeah, so Lalo kills those guys. We don't see it, and of course he tells the legals, "Sorry, you guys are gonna have to find another way." So that's how the that's how the thing kind of that's how the scene ends. So so we're back at scene 13. We're back with Nacho. Uh, we're not with Nacho. We're at Nacho's place. You know, this his house where the two girls are living. You know, they're all coked up and stuff. The
Yeah, that was
girls
a good scene.
the girls are watching Ricky Lake. Remember Ricky Lake?
I
Um,
do. Yeah.
so they're watching Ricky Lake, and one of the girls who's all coked up, like the Asian girl, she's all coked up and she's playing dominoes, and she's like talking really fast and stuff. And and then of course the other girl's just laying on the sofa. She's like, I don't know if she's tripped. I don't know if she's I don't know if she was high on something else, like the opposite, like heroin, or if she was just she was straight and stuff. She was chilling. But we hear the knock on the door, and of course it's Mike. Mike and his crew are coming in, and Mike basically says to them, "Nacho's not coming back. We need you to leave." And he offers both of them money. He's like, "Go home, go to your families, or go to your friends. This is what's." And he always starts every time he gives instructions. He's always like, "This is what's going to happen," because that's Mike.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. This is how it's going.
And he says, "You have to be far away from here. Do not come back anywhere near here." And he basically says, "Never come back" and stuff. So, so they leave. They take the money. They leave. And then Mike basically measures the safe. They hammer drill it open. Goes in, looks for stuff with of course he has gloves on. Is he cleaning? I was like, I wrote down in question mark cleaning because he has gloves on and
Yeah.
stuff. And he basically looks everywhere for any secret places or things where he would stash stuff away and stuff. So basically, so Mike, they open the thing up. Mike goes through it, takes the money out. He finds in the trailer they show him looking at the two licenses. So there's a license of him, and there's the license of his dad.
Right.
In the event that they disappear because Nacho wants out.
Yep.
So we see trucks backing in. Of course, it's Victor. Victor is backing one of the trucks in, and they bring something out, a big giant box of something. We find out it's another safe,
Yep.
and of course they take the old safe away. They put the new safe in place, and then they put all the money. They put the two licenses back in, and Mike puts down a thing like a folder or something in there, or like an envelope or something in there.
Right.
And yeah, so he
And
puts it away, and that's basically the
well,
end
it
of that
looks
scene.
like, and he removed his father's identification too. We find out, right?
I think he puts it back.
I
I think
think
he
he
puts it
keeps
back
it.
under the money.
Does he? Because I know
Yeah,
when they're going through the safe contents, I didn't think they saw his father's info. I think they just found Nacho's fake credentials when they
yeah,
actually when they open up the fake safe. I guess the fake safe. They only zoom in on Nacho's fake ID. You don't see his father's. So it was my assumption that once again Mike's not assumption, of course, but that Mike's protecting Nacho and his father again by pulling his father out of the fire with that one. Because you would think if if they find his father's ID in there, they might think he's involved, even though he has no idea what's going on.
yeah. I'm worried about his father. I mean,
Yeah,
we've been worried about his father since last season.
quite
So,
some time. Yeah,
um, but I think that's later. I think that's later in the episode. So,
might be a
um,
little bit later. Yeah, sorry.
yeah, so we're scene 14 is Jimmy, and Jimmy's basically practicing like a speech or a sob story, trying to create like some sort of backstory to discredit Cliff, and they think he's like maybe mesothelioma or something. So I didn't really get much out of this particular scene. It was
Yeah,
just that him talking to Kim and stuff. I was like,
yeah,
what are they talking? I'm like, what are they talking about? I was like, is this a sob story? What are they doing? So,
yeah.
but that's basically just in prep work for that. So scene 15, we're in Gus's office, and of course Gus is showing all the pictures from the from the forensics and everything that or that the federales, the Mexican police took. So everything that Gus got, dead bodies, and he's like, he questions like what caused this fire? How did this fire start? Like he said, oh, because there's a stove. Like someone was running the stove in the kitchen, and that's
Yeah.
how. And there was oil, and that's how it caught fire. And so Gus being a really smart character, which is something that's lacking in most shows nowadays. Don't you
Yeah.
agree?
Oh, yes.
Gus is smart enough to figure there's something off about this.
Yes. Yeah, I think he knows what Lalo is capable of, and it seemed a little bit too tidy.
So he goes and he calls Don Juan. Here's the thing. He calls Juan Bolsa. Juan Bolsa. I read up on him. He's basically named after. If you ever seen The Sopranos, he's named after the character Johnny Sack. That's basically
Oh,
Juan
is he?
Bolsa is
Really?
Johnny Sack in Espanol.
I didn't know
I
that.
read this. I read this on the Breaking Bad wiki. That's how I
That's
found out.
hilarious. I didn't know that.
I didn't know this either. So,
That's great.
but honestly, I actually think Breaking Bad's a better show between them and The Sopranos. I
I
know a
think
lot of
so.
people will probably disagree with me,
I like
but
them both, but yes, I would watch this over that. In
yeah,
fact, I have.
yeah. So Gus says, hey, we should go talk he calls he calls Juan Bolsa and he's like, we should try to make peace, a peaceful gesture to Hector and stuff. And of course, we see how that follows up later. But we're on scene 16, and we see Saul driving, and he sees he sees the lady, the I think what they call it, secret, Sweet Liberty Tax Services, which is the Kettleman. So we're now with the Kettlemans now.
Oh
I
my
like
god.
it's Betsy. Like, oh, Betsy's back. What are they gonna do? This is gonna be hilarious.
I couldn't do anything but laugh when I saw them. Like, oh my god, they're
Because it's our
back.
money. It's our
Yeah.
money. We're not guilty. We're not guilty.
She is so freaking just,
She is so
oh god,
insufferable.
just
It's hilarious.
pathological, man. And she just in denial to the max. It is
And she calls all the
unbelievable.
shots. She calls all the
Yeah,
shots.
he is such a cuck.
Yes.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
So every time I wrote down that the Kettlemans made this decision, I put down the Kettlemans slash her
Yeah,
made this.
because
Betsy made the decision
yeah,
for
because
both
that's
of them.
definitely it. It's her.
Because
He
she's
always,
pissed. She's like, get out. She's like, get out of here. I'm gonna have my husband remove you. And he gets up. He's like, hi, Jimmy. How you doing? He's so nice. He's so nice, and
like he's such a nice guy that
they're
she's
like
like, no, we don't like him. It's like, oh,
they're like a match.
it's,
They're like a match made in hell.
it's so bad. Like I almost feel like he would be a good guy if it wasn't for her.
Yeah. I
I
mean, yeah,
mean,
I
yeah,
think yeah, because it was probably her that he took the money in the first place.
yeah, it's a little bit of an assumption, but you can see how they're acting here. I think, and he's basically does whatever the hell she says. So I don't think it's a far reach to think that she was like, yeah, you know what, you can skim a little off that treasury, and nobody's gonna miss that.
Oh, we got a great comment here. Jeannie Lumley says, I love how Craig Kelman's first reactions are always genuine. Then she smacks him down.
It's so
It's
true.
true. It's
It's
so
so
true.
true. He's like, hey, oh wait, I'm not supposed to like you. Sorry.
But yeah,
It's just
once again, everybody who's
okay.
watching, thank you so much for watching. If you, I mean, yeah, just leave if you have the means, leave a chat or leave a chat or and you become part of the discussion with us.
24
It's not
likes. That's pretty cool.
it's not just me and Steve talking. I mean, you guys are part of the discussion too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'd love to hear your feedback, your insights and stuff,
we've already missed a
too.
bunch, so I'm gonna have to call. Not I want to listen to Nacho's voicemail. I'm gonna have to do that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do too.
But
I
I
have to
have to
look up the
say,
number.
yeah, right. But Craig Kettleman is so like that guy. I don't know what the actor's name is, but dude, that
I
guy
don't
is
know
so
either.
good too because it's just like he wears everything right on his face, just his facial expressions, and she's like, well, even her, she's great too. They're both fantastic, but it's just like the play for the both of them. It makes me laugh so hard because it's exactly that. He's genuine, and it's just like, no. No, that's not how we feel. It's like, oh, okay. It's
I
like, okay.
know.
It's like, okay.
Okay.
Oh man, it's so good.
So here we have so he goes in, he sees Mrs. Kalman, she's working at the place, and Saul turns around. For a second I was curious if he was looking at the camera, breaking the fourth wall. At least that's what I kind of thought he was doing. Now it might have been just him, like maybe he was kind of shocked to see this. He kind of shocked. He was shocked to see this. So he turns around. He says, hey, Betsy, how are you? And he's like, oh, it's good to see Mr. Kettleman's out of jail and stuff. He put on some weight and stuff. He's like, oh, they had an exercise program there. So, of course, you see the obvious gun stuff. It was hilarious. So basically, he basically offers, the Kettleman's exoneration in some form, and he's like, I have found grounds for a civil suit to basically based on poor counsel.
Right.
Someone might be under the influence of drugs and stuff. Howard Hamlin, obviously, which was following up from the golf thing.
Yeah.
And of course, she says no. He walks away. He walks away. Then they come back and they sign something, and then they're like, he's like, Howard Hamlin, bad malpractice. The devil's he calls the drugs devil's dandruff and stuff. And then they're like, well, you're fired, Jimmy. He's like, you can't fire me. So I got a question for you. Do you think he meant for them to fire them because he saw their behavior before, like they went to,
I think
right
this is
away they
just
went to
yes.
HHM.
This is him baiting the hook. That's why I said right away. He said Davis and Maine. That was deliberate because that's right where they go. They go right to
Mm.
Davis and Maine after the discussion with him. I
Yes, they
think it was
do.
all baiting the hook. He all his words were very very calculated because he knows who he's dealing with. These Kettlemans, they don't change. They're
No, they
greedy.
don't.
They think they're smarter than everybody, and they're going to do whatever they can to get the most out pay or get treated the best way that they think that they deserve to be treated. So I think that was all of it was deliberate. He wanted to be fired. He wanted, the whole thing happened. I think exactly to solve Jimmy's design because they're predictable. They're so predictable. It's ridiculous. At least she's
Yeah,
so
it was
predictable.
great.
Or
It was
for
so
Craig,
great.
Craig just follows around. She is so predictable. She's in denial, and but we deserve this. We did nothing wrong, but
We did. He worked very hard. He worked
he worked,
overtime.
he
He
worked
worked.
very hard.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, yeah. He's just like she's putting words in his mouth.
It's
Um,
like that big, yeah, yeah. What she said.
so Jeannie Lumley says, because of your love for Better Call Saul and your Zelda poster behind you, I am going to have to subscribe. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, I have a lot of videos. I've done Zelda retrospectives. So, yeah, if you love Zelda, check those out. I mean, I put a lot of my childhood and a lot of, my personal feelings into these retrospectives. So I do video game retrospectives. And I'm a big Star Trek guy too. So, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we have Magic Ace here. Welcome. I haven't seen you before. Thanks. Mrs. Kettleman has resting Betsy face. Resting Betsy face. What's that? I'm not sure what that is. Resting Betsy face. I mean, Betsy is the name of the actress that plays Marie, Hank's wife. What is resting Betsy face? Do you know?
Well, it's a play on words, I think, probably for bitch and then Betsy, because
Um,
Betsy has probably the best resting bitch face there is. So there you go. It's sort of a long pull from Breaking Bad, I think. Maybe
yeah.
I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's definitely a reference to Breaking Bad and her resting bitch face on that show.
And look who's here. Salty Texas C. Dude, you're a total night owl. Hey, the Better Call Saul premiere was from 8 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Central Time. It's only been an hour and a half since the episode ended. The two episode ended. It was like a movie. It was long. It was long, and there's a lot to talk about here. It's so awesome. Salty, you have to watch Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Stop watching those crappy Marvel and Star Wars shows
Yes,
and
watch
watch
something good
this.
for a
This is
change.
good TV. I've not been this excited in a long time. Like, despite
Great
Game of
TV.
Thrones and Game of Thrones stuff, I think this show is going to land. I think so. Everything
Plus,
has come together and it's paying off.
you get Kettlemans. I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
You get Kettleman's. That's exactly right. And of course, he says hello to Prophet of the Dragon, too.
Hello, sir. Always a pleasure.
Oh, Magic Ace answered my answer. He's okay. So he basically confirms what you just
It
said.
works in so many ways.
Exactly. So, so we'll skip the scene 17 to this scene where they go to Davison, Maine.
Right.
Kelman's arrive and they're like they want to sue their former clients for drugs, and of course Cliff is there. He's listening, and he's like, no, the conflict of interest. We're working with them on, a case and stuff, and we
Yeah.
just can't do that. So,
Right.
and of course, Betsy, storms out, and then we see Cliff playing the guitar, worried and stuff. And I like what I forget what the girl's name, the girl
Oh, the
his aide,
paralegal.
Aaron, is it Aaron or something?
I want to say yes, but I
The
don't
one that was
remember for
like
sure.
having her nose into all of Jimmy's
Yeah,
work and
she was
stuff, to the
babysitting
point where,
Jimmy while she
yeah,
was
to
there.
the
Yeah.
point where
Yeah.
to the point where he, like, he's like, oh, I'll have a meeting with you, and she
Yeah.
goes into the office and he just freaking leaves. He leaves,
Yeah,
goes back
that
to
was so good.
Albuquerque.
She's got just everything like earmarked, and he's like sneaks out the back door. Oh God, yeah, yeah. That was a good one.
So Cliff looked a bit worried. So let's go back to Nacho. I think Nacho was the next scene.
Okay.
So Nacho's at the motel. He's still lying low, and then someone knocks, and then he draws a gun. He's scared. Who's this? And we find out the people at the motel. They're just leaving him some food and stuff. And I remember I've been to Mexico. I've done some work for some volunteer work with my church when I was a kid. I went to Tijuana. It was the same type of thing. They had the big thing that they always have, is rice and beans mainly. Rice and beans and maybe a
Yeah.
tortilla. That's basically that was basically most meals and stuff. Typical meal in Mexico. And so he's doing that, and then he sees a strange guy just kind of like kind of just like walking. He's kind of like standing around, loitering in the
Yeah.
parking lot and stuff of the motel, and just kind of walks away towards away from there. There's like a building across the building across the parking lot, full of graffiti that looks kind of suspicious. So Nacho keeps his eye out on that, and it's a good thing he did because, well,
Yeah. I
someone
mean,
was someone was there. Someone was there watching his
yeah.
room.
It just shows again how crafty Nacho is. Just picks it up. He's being a little suspicious, but obviously rightfully so. He doesn't trust anybody at this point, except for it seems like Mike, because that's his number one call, right? But never drops his guard, and then gets obviously from there get ones up the guy, and yeah, it's just another notch in Nacho's belt of how just smart and always paying attention to detail is.
So I might have asked you this earlier, but I was most engaged with Nacho's story. Like that was the one that I have the most investment in right now. That's the one that I have. When I see a scene with Nacho, that's when I start paying attention.
I
Even
actually am enjoying a lot of the nacho stuff. And that's not to say the other stuff is bad by any means, but I enjoy the nacho and the Mike aspect of the story right now the most. Uh, even though the other stuff is fantastic,
oh yeah, the
I,
stuff with
I'm
Jimmy and Kim
always
is great too.
yeah. Oh
Like
yeah. I'm always looking forward to a nacho scene or a Mike scene. I enjoyed the Mike scenes quite a bit.
crappy motel in Mexico with room service. Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
That was yeah.
Probably
I
the
was one.
probably the probably the people that paid them, probably they put a lot
I
of money
was
into that motel, like you said. Maybe, that came with,
I was
came
wondering
with some
about
room
that too.
service.
Obviously, the old yeah, I was thinking about that too. I guess the only thing you can think of is that was just another service that they paid the hotel to take
Hmm.
care of him, so he didn't have to leave the room.
Yeah.
Uh, would be the only way I could think about. But it did, like room service. That's wow, pretty 4-star treatment at this place.
Yeah. Jeannie Lumley says, I like how they showed the conditioning dripping from that shed. A little out of place. I love those details. Yeah, same
Yep,
here. And of course, the air conditioning pays off
yep.
later in the episode. So now we're at scene 19. Got to turn my page of my notebook. So scene 19. Okay, this is where it gets juicy. So we're following up on Gus's last thing. So we're with Gus now,
All
and
right,
they're at the
Mr.
nursing home
Frank.
where Mr. Don
Oh
Hector
God,
is
this
there.
this is so like this scene is so good. Just the whole thing, everything about it is really just perfect. Like I don't even know what else to say. The actors do such a good job. Just they don't even have to say anything,
I
and
mean, like
just the
especially
facial
Mark,
expressions. And, yeah,
especially Mark Margolis, who plays Don Hector. I
yeah.
mean,
God,
he spent all of Breaking Bad, and last two seasons of this show
I
in
mean,
that wheelchair,
how
just
can you? Yeah,
making
facial
faces, movements, and
bell.
dinging that bell.
How do you get so many words and emotions and just feelings out of ringing a damn bell?
Yeah.
It's one of those, you get the double ring, you get the hard ring, you get the, there's all he's got. It's crazy. Like, I just find it crazy that just ringing a bell in different ways expresses his emotions, along with obviously his facial expressions. But it's just, man, it's unbelievable the things
Remember
that
that
he can get across with that bell.
they brought back the alphabet thing that they did with Hector and Breaking
Yeah.
Bad. Remember
Yep.
how they used the alphabet to get a word out of
Yep.
Hector? And every time the letter was the correct letter, he
Yep.
dinged the bell and stuff.
Yep.
I mean, it's the same idea. Like I'm going to bring up Star Trek again, the original series, the Menagerie episode with Captain Pike in the wheelchair, and only thing they could do is ask him yes and no questions, and the only thing he could do is beep once or beep twice, or answer yes or no, because he cannot move, he cannot communicate. He's basically trapped. He's very much he can very much think. He has his brain is very much alive, but he can't. It's like as McCoy says in the episode, no, he can't reach out, and nobody can reach in. So it's like one of the worst situations, and that's basically Hector's situation. So the only way you could do it is to do the alphabet thing. That's the only way to really communicate with him, and for him to communicate with them. So, but going back to the scene, Gus is in there and Juan Bos is in there talking to Hector and stuff. And then of course Gus talks to Hector and he basically expresses his condolences for Lalo. And of course, Hector is feigning, he looks like he's feigning, crying or feigning being upset and stuff. And Gus sees this, and then he's like, hey, we're gonna stand with you, like any politician who says, oh, we're stronger together and stuff, which is BS. He's like, we're gonna stand with you, saying all these disingenuous things to him, and Hector reaches out his hand and smiles at Gus. At least I interpret it as a
I,
smile.
yeah, I don't, I'd have to watch it again. I'm not, but Gus immediately knows something's up.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
of
you're
course
shaking my hand. So, no, 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 this ain't
yeah,
right.
he saw that, and that's how smart Gus is. Gus knew right away. He calls Mike, and Mike's like, yes, Lalo Salamanca is alive.
Yeah, and I
So
don't
he
know if
already figured it
that's
out. He already
so.
figured it out.
And that's one of those. I don't know if that's Hector uh, messing up and letting Gus know, playing it straight and messing up and letting on too much by, not letting on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if that's him saying, "Screw you, you failed. I'm gonna, rub your nose in it." I don't know if it's that or if he messed up.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hector was, Hector thought he was being clever, and he didn't realize that Gus is even more clever than him.
Yeah,
Gus
yeah.
can read him really well, and Gus knew something
Oh
was
yeah.
up. So, and of course, Magic Ace right here says Gus's perception just in Hector's handshake, telling him that Lalo is still alive, was brilliant. Right? Holy crap! I
Yes.
so agree with that. I so agree with that
So good. Yeah.
comment. And of course, Gene Lumley says, "Oh my gosh, that was awesome."
It's
Yes.
so good, man. The whole
And
scene was just so good.
and then of course she says between Hector, Gus, and Mike, they can all say so much without saying a word. I would rather watch Mike, like I said in a previous stream, I would rather watch Mike take apart a car looking for a tracker
Yes.
for 10 minutes without any dialogue than listen to some insufferable character tell you a bunch of tell the audience a bunch of things without showing it in a new Marvel or Star Wars show
Yeah, or you could Gus
or
cleaning and
Star Trek
inspecting
show.
his fryers and scrubbing pans and stuff at his restaurant.
Yep.
I mean, or just them grunting like grunting on facial expressions with Hector ringing the bell. I mean, it's just yeah. Don't even need dialogue between the three of them. So good.
Lionel and Marco too. Oh yeah, those two when they
Oh,
come
those
into a
yeah.
scene, crap's going down.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
two unsung sort of keeping a straight face. Those guys, man. Yeah, those guys sort of. I don't know if get the recognition I think they deserve just because they
No.
just look straight up intimidating. And then when they say a word, it's like, whoa, dude, whoa. He just
Yeah, they
something
never
that's
talk.
bad.
They never say
He
anything.
just said a word.
Like they literally. But here's yeah. The thing is, they literally like when Hector was in his coma, they ordered Nacho to talk to him. They wouldn't talk to him. They ordered Nacho to
Yeah,
talk to Hector after the doctor says, if you talk to Hector, he can hear and it'll help him come back to it'll help him come back and stuff. So yes, and they wouldn't even do that. That's it. So when they talk, it's a big deal. It's like whenever Spock shows original Spock, Leonard Nimoy Spock shows emotion, it's uh it's um it's meaningful and stuff. Same idea. So but so yeah, so that's C-19. So Gus knows that Lalo is alive.
yes.
So now we're back to we're now at scene 20. We're at Nacho's house. It's at night. Now the place is completely ransacked. I'm assuming that was the doing of Don, and of course we see men opening the second safe, and this time Don Juan Bolsa is there with his people opening Nacho's safe,
The
and they
prep
see
safe, yeah.
a bank. They see the planted item, which I think is a bank statement. I'm not sure what that was.
Yeah, it's
With
a big
a bank
statement.
statement from the Cayman Islands,
I was just
basically.
looking at it again.
And there's a number. I don't know if it's an account number or if it's a routing number or if it's a phone number.
Well, I think it's the phone number to the because he calls it. It's the phone number to the
Okay, it's a phone
hotel.
number.
Yeah, it's the phone number to the hotel where Nacho's at.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, that's why I'm a little confused at why they planted it. Uh, some more 4D chess being played by Gus here because he immediately gets that he calls the number and it's an Octavio hotel or whatever wherever Nacho's at. That's the front desk picks up.
Oh, I didn't see that. I have to rewatch that now. Holy crap.
So it's
So so
like I
so
don't
so so
know if
Gus so
that's
so I'm guessing this was something that Mike didn't know about.
well I don't know because Mike put it in there.
He did.
Right?
Maybe he didn't know it was
So
in
so
there.
that was part of what I was confused about. It's like you would think there would have been some major pushback from Mike if he
Yeah.
uh and yeah, because it's one of those you've now put Nacho in direct danger here.
Yeah. So
Is it and I think Gus is at this point given Nacho up. It's one of those okay. We'll send the Salamancas out there. They can get their revenge, and
well,
you
the
know,
thing is, if they get not here's the thing. If they get Nacho, the reason why they want Nacho alive is because they want to find out who's ordering him.
yeah.
And so, like, if Gus's neck is on the line if he doesn't get. I mean,
Which is like a miscalculation by Gus sending him like it's very interesting. I don't know if that's a mistake. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
very I it makes me and I don't think it's a mistake that the writing's too good for it not to be deliberately put in there. Right?
yeah,
It's
I
one of
agree.
those so it makes me wonder what is happening here because if you play the events, Mike goes deliberately cleans out the safe of things that they don't want Bolsa to see, plant a a letter with or a bank statement with the phone number to the hotel he happens to be standing at. When then in
Yeah.
turn Bolsa sends the Salamancas after Nacho. I
Mm-hmm.
would assume that's who
Yeah.
sent them, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, how does that favor? How does all that prep work favor Gus? It's sort of
I
weird.
don't I don't yeah I don't see it too. So maybe if I rewatch the episode, or
Yeah,
maybe it'll be explained later. We'll see.
yeah. Maybe some extra scrutiny might bring it out to the forefront, or you just the resourcefulness of Nacho. I just don't think that's what it is because that it just that's it's Gus is leaving way too much to chance here.
I agree. So Magic Ace here says Nacho is a man without a country. Everyone wants him dead. Mike's the only one looking out for Nacho. Yeah, that's so
Yeah,
true.
absolutely.
That's why I am so worried about Nacho. I mean,
Yeah,
ever since last season, ever since I'm worried about Nacho and I'm worried about his father.
ever
I
since they
mean,
brought his father in, my view of Nacho has changed like almost
that whole
180.
scene in the last season, I think it was episode 2 in the beginning, where they go in, they break into his house, they take him out of bed, and of course, they drive him to where his father's hanging out with his friends, and Victor goes in, and Gus comes in the car, and he's like, I need you to do this or we're gonna kill your. Without saying it, they're like, I need you to do this or we're gonna kill him and stuff
Yeah.
without saying it. And that they don't need to. Now, if this was a Marvel or some crappy contrived show, they would just say, I'm gonna kill him. Ah, you know. And of
Yeah,
course,
no,
but
exactly. Yeah, it would be some just I don't know, something silly. It's so silly you can't even make it up.
yeah,
You're an evil
exactly.
man. I'm going to stab you now. Okay.
So Jeannie Lumley says, and the way that Gus can change his expression on a dime, it's so chilling. Yeah, he's like he smiles, then his face then he goes into
Oh,
complete.
yeah, yeah, he's got that big smile. Oh, what can I do for you? And
And then he
then
does that
straight
creepy
into his straight
stare.
face. Yeah, it's like
I
whoa.
yeah, and of course Jeannie Lumley once again says one thing I've learned with the show is that sometimes you gotta let it ride. It will become clear in an episode or two. For this
Yes,
show,
agreed.
they have earned this series has
Yes,
earned that right. Other shows
absolutely
have
agree.
not. Other shows have not done that, and they've been crappy as a result. But this show has earned that. Ever since Breaking Bad, but ever since I started Better Call Saul, I've not had a bad season. Even though there's not a whole lot of action, there's not even a whole lot of thriller. There's not a whole lot of thriller aspects compared to Breaking Bad, but this show's still freaking really compelling. Just Jimmy Jimmy and Chuck's story was very compelling too. That one of the best
Yes,
scenes in that whole show was the chicanery
yes,
in the thing. So yeah, I totally agree.
yeah. So
So
good, all of it.
here we're at the juice of the here we're at the meat of the episode, the Breaking Bad portion of the episode, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Nacho.
right. Gives you that feeling. Absolutely.
So Nacho has been looking out of his window for a long time now, and he sees this even though he doesn't have, but I don't think he doesn't have binoculars, but he sees that there's someone in that building across the street peeking in at him. He knows someone's there. He saw someone. We see them there. So he knows that someone's in the building, and then he walks outside and he grabs the food, shows himself, then goes back inside, closes the door. He's super duper pissed, starts kicking everything, and then he starts hitting the AC unit. He starts kicking the AC unit until he knocks it out of the wall, and then he basically jumps out of that opening and from like 2 stories up and pulls a Lalo. He basically just jumps all the way down and stuff. And
Yeah.
then the scene changes. Now we're from the point of view of the guy in the other building, and he's basically waiting. He's got he's got food there. He's got a picnic. He's got like a cooler, for sandwiches, because people still got to eat. Even bad guys still have to eat
Yeah.
and stuff. So he's staked out. He's staked out. You have to have food. You can't move. So basically, Nacho gets the drop on him.
I have to say, just these last scenes you're talking about, that some of the camera work, like just like from him bashing on the air conditioning, and
Yeah,
just where the camera's at, you could feel it, just the desperation in him, and then just
yeah,
some of the ways they're shooting the guy watching Nacho through the hole, and then the over the shoulder with the gun. It's just, man, it adds another level to all this besides the storytelling.
yeah. I know.
Visually appealing, yes.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. That's one things I love about Breaking Bad that really, when I first saw it, I'm like, wow, like there's so much artisticness in the there's a lot of artistic elements and just this choice of
Yes.
shots, the type of cinematography. Like I love the shot in season 5 when Kim discovers the bullet inside the world's best lawyer cup, and we see her eye through the hole, through the bullet
Yeah,
hole.
that is a
I
good one.
love that. I love that
So
shot
good.
right there.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, yeah. That was one. Was like, yep, there you go. That's a vintage Breaking Bad camera angle right there.
Yeah, excuse me, I coughed. That's why I muted and did my camera or put my camera on, turned off my camera for a bit. So, quickly. So basically, he gets a jump on this guy. And while he has the guy on gunpoint, he calls Tyrus, and I forget what he says. He says he holds the guy hostage. Guy doesn't know. He's like, "Who are you working for?" Guy's like, "I don't know who I'm working for. I just got a call, and I'm here. I'm getting paid, and I'm here." And of course, Tyrus calls. He's like, "I gotta leave," and Tyrus tells him to stay put still, and then he hangs up on Tyrus. and he basically like turn around, and of course he butts the guy in the head, in the back of the head. He's like, "You can't shoot me. Everybody here will hear you." Well, he not just knocks him out.
Yeah, just clocks him. It's like, duh.
Yeah, the problem with that was he knocks him out when that guy's phone was ringing, and the fact that he didn't answer
Yeah.
means signifies a problem. So
Yes,
hence when
absolutely.
he's leaving, everybody starts coming. The Marco and Lionel show up. Those two came, and and a bunch of their people were there,
Yeah, a
and
little bit of a
they were breaking through every motel room.
yeah, a little miscalculation by Nacho there, maybe. Maybe, but I mean, he needs to find out what's going on too. He at that point he's not really sure uh, who's after him or if it's all of them, right? So
Yeah. So Nacho's outside. He basically gets into a car. So the moment he gets into a car, and we see this shot in the trailer, he's basically laying in the front seat because in the front seat of this car is a single seat, like like in the 70s and 80s, that this type of car, where it wasn't like you had two separate. You had a passenger front seat, and the driver front seat was all one big front seat. And so he's just laying in the front, and he's got his two pistols up, like he's got his two pistols up like this, and he's like freaking the hell out. And I was
yeah,
like, oh, what's going on? Like, and then of course they go in, and then I think I might have not paid attention, but he gets into a shootout with this one guy, and he shoots the guy. So he's a gunfight from inside the car, and of course everybody's advancing on him. The twins advance on him, and the one guy that shoots him from behind, the twins actually kill him.
yeah.
He's like alive. That they just say one word, alive.
What alive is like? Oh my god.
Because they want to know who's pulling the
Yeah.
strings. They want to know who's pulling his strings because they know he's not working alone. And if they
Yep.
catch him, they get Gus. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
either in Gus's interest to either silence him
There's
permanently
his proof. Yep.
or to get him out. So so that might, like you said, it might have been a miscalculation on Gus's part. Who knows? But so there's a little bit of a standoff, and he manages to get the car. He manages to, I forget what he does to the wheel, but he basically he basically twists the wheel so that he can break into the and hotwire the car. I wasn't sure exactly what he was doing because I don't know. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. No, I'm sort of rewatching it as you're talking. I'm not. He must. I don't know. Did he lose the keys? I don't know. But he gets the car started. I'm not sure.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know
that was his
cars very
car. I
well,
don't think
but
that was his car. Or maybe it was I don't know if it was the guy's car. I don't know
oh yeah,
whose
no. I
truck
think
that
he
was.
just what. I think that just what whoever's truck it was. He just hotwired it. That's all it
Yeah,
was.
he just hotwired it.
Yeah.
Went into reverse. Of course, he's not going to kill the twins because they're alive in Breaking Bad, so he
Yeah.
misses them. And then he points while he's driving. He points the guy. He starts screaming like war cry, shooting them as they're shooting him,
Yeah.
and he gets away. He gets out of there. And I think that's the last we see of him in this episode.
Yeah. He
All right, so
loses a tire on the way out,
yeah,
but does a good job of wrecking their transportation on the way out. So at least we think. I mean, is he? Yeah, I guess he is driving away at the end there. So yeah, yeah. So he
Magic A
does
says
escape.
Magic A says as Nacho was backing up the pickup truck, but the cousin step out of the way was a callback to Breaking Bad when Hank backed up and pinned one of them, pinching his legs off. Yeah, yeah, I
Yes,
remember
yes,
that.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yep. So yeah, nice little callback right there. I was thinking about that too, actually. But they say later, but they basically say later they found the truck and that he was gone. So we don't
Yeah.
know where he's at
Again,
this point.
in the
So
wind again. He's a
in the
slippery
wind.
guy.
Yes, he is. So we're in. So another quick scene with Jimmy and Kim. Jimmy and Kim are basically back at home. They get a phone call at night, and I wasn't sure who was calling them, but it was obviously from the next scene with them, and it was Kettleman. It was Kettleman, and of course they's like, okay, yeah, let's have
Yay.
a meeting. Let's have a meeting in the morning. And Kim's like, I'm gonna come too. I'm gonna
Yeah.
come with and stuff.
Savage Kim is about to come
Yeah.
out. Oh
And
my god.
he's like, you don't have to. Are you sure? He's like, are you sure you want to? And she's like, yeah, yeah, I'm coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So now it's scene 25. So there's two more scenes. So this is the last scene with Mike and Gus, and this is a very important scene that's going
Yes.
to play into the next episode. So we begin. So obviously Mike is making preparations in case there's an assault. And of course, I felt like it was another callback to Breaking Bad. remember Don Eladio's guy. I forgot the guy's name. He's not yet made an appearance in this show. I'm not even sure he will make an appearance. But remember
Yeah.
Don Eladio's guy. He sniped one of Mike's guys and stuff. And then
Yes.
Gus comes out and he's just like he's got the eyes. He's just like and he's just like he's like the Joker. He's like come shoot me.
Yeah. Right. No, I remember that. Yeah.
So
I'd be interested if he shows up. I wouldn't think so. I think they got enough to wrap up right now. Don't introduce more people.
So, here's speaking of Breaking Bad, my plan is so once these 7 episodes are done, there's going to be a 6-week break in between parts 1 and part 2 of this final season. I'm going to rewatch all of Breaking Bad, and I'm going to do another rewatch of Better Call Saul. I'm going to do another rewatch. So I already
Holy.
rewatched Better Call Saul
He actually could.
prepare for this. Now I'm going to do another Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul with the first half of season 6 episodes and stuff.
It's
So
actually pretty goes by pretty fast.
yeah.
It's sort of amazing how fast you go through the episodes.
Yeah, I was like I was looking at the clock. I'm like, this show is still on. Holy crap! It didn't feel like two and a
No,
half
it didn't feel
hours.
like it at all. Not at all. Not
All
at
right,
all.
so back to the scene. So
Yes.
crosshairs. We see the crosshairs. There, Mike is prepping with his guy. In case there's he has a sniper planted in a vantage point in case the office gets assaulted by the Salamancas or the cartel. So basically, Mike goes inside. He talks to Gus. He says Varga's not going to last, and they figure out that Lalo is looking for him as well. Lalo is hunting. So not only are the Salamancas um, hunting Nacho, but Lalo's going to be hunting him too. That's why he doesn't get into the transport. He basically he stays south of the border. So he's hunting him too. So I'm curious if they're gonna meet each other because
Yeah.
we know what Nacho's capable of. So
Yeah. Well,
we're like, is he any match for is Nacho any match for Lalo?
yeah. I don't know.
I'm scared. I'm
I don't
scared
know,
for I'm scared for him.
Yeah. Well, I did make it just a sort of an observation. I'm not sure if what you thought about it, but prior them talking right before Fraying, Gus tells Mike to bring in Nacho's father. He breaks that glass.
Oh,
That
sorry.
is very uncharacteristic of Gus, and I think it shows that he's a little bit more shaken up by the situation than.
He's
Uh,
worried.
yeah,
His
you
plan
don't.
could
Yeah,
crumble
yeah,
if he's not careful.
exactly. Yeah, I thought that was a nice little uh, tidbit to show that he's not keeping it together as well as it looks like, because that's not something he would normally do.
I mean, yeah, so I just want to see ultimately how Gus manages to outmaneuver Lalo. And I
Yes.
just can't wait to see how this all plays out. I just can't wait to see how this all
Yeah, it's
plays out.
building up.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, I can't wait for next week. I haven't been this excited for a show in a long time. What can I say?
Yeah.
This is probably the 10th time I said that in this stream.
Well, it leaves you. It definitely leaves you. It does a great job. I mean, it leaves you ready for the next one. It's like, God dang it.
I'm going to be honest, doing these streams, I'm doing this, everybody, I'm doing this every week. Doing these streams, I need an outlet. I need an exit. Or not exit. I need an outlet because I always felt really excited. Last time I felt this excited was when I saw the finale of season 6 of Game of Thrones. Remember when the Sept of
Uh,
Baelor gets blown up by the green
yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
by the green wildfire, and
Right.
I just loved that whole episode. It was a complete payoff to all the other seasons. And then
Yeah.
that was really the last time I really
Yeah.
felt
Then.
something for Game of Thrones, and then it
Wah,
just
wah,
all
wah.
fell
Yeah.
apart. All fell apart after
Yeah.
that.
Galactic fall from grace. Yeah.
I wish I should have had a YouTube channel then. I should have started just
Oh
covered that and
God. Yeah.
stuff. But
Yeah.
hey, I'm loving doing this. I'm doing this every week. This is working. Like I have a lot to say and stuff. So,
Yeah. No.
but
Yeah.
but yeah. So going back to the scene. So Mike basically says Varga is not going to last. He's smart, but he's eventually going to get caught. So Mike suggests that him and 4 guys go down there and they find a way to basically retrieve him. And basically Gus breaks the glass, and then he's like, you know what? tells Tyrus, bring Varga's father here. And this is where Mike's like, no, no, no. And then Tyrus points a gun
Yeah,
at Mike.
we're
Tyrus then
not
points a
doing
gun at
that.
Mike, and I'm like,
I think that's exactly Mike's words. Is no, we're not doing
we're
that.
not
It's like,
doing that.
whoa,
Yeah, I know. I was
whoa.
like, whoa. I'm like, dude. I'm like, dude. What is it? I'm like, what's gonna happen?
Mike's gonna kill Ty. It's like it's
Well,
not gonna be
obviously he's
Mike.
not.
No,
He's
yeah, it's
obviously
like
not gonna
what?
kill Tyrus or
Yeah,
Gus. So,
it's
then
like
the cell phone then Mike's cell phone vibrates, and it's Nacho. He's like, it's not. It's him. He's been trying to call me. He says, hey, it's been trying to call me for a while. So he answers the phone. He's like, yeah, it's for you. And he looks at Gus. He's like, it's for you. He wants to talk to you. And then that's how that scene ends and stuff. And
and
I was
talk
like,
about a mega cliffhanger. It makes you wonder what. I mean, if Nacho's gonna be like, "Fuck you, man," fuck you, like, or like, which I don't think he's obviously going to because his father's still in the wind.
yeah.
Uh, but I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to hear what that conversation was all about.
Yeah, we're gonna see it. I mean,
Yeah,
in the preview for next week, he's like, "You're not going through. You're not going. You're gonna have to." He's like, I think he literally says in the trailer for the next episode, or you're gonna have to come through me if you want to take out Nacho's father or something like that. Something
yeah,
like that. I'll have
yeah,
to rewatch it, but I can't wait. I can't wait to keep seeing this.
yeah.
I didn't think they were gonna answer everything, but hey,
Oh, it looks like
this
they're
is on a
going to.
roll.
Yeah.
This season's on a
You can
freaking
see, like,
lit.
that's the thing too. You can see it coming to a logical conclusion with everything buttoned up to go right into either Breaking Bad or going past it, even like you were saying with Gene,
Yeah,
in the last few episodes. I think that would be awesome if they. I hope they do that. That's such a good idea. Just be like, okay, this we're gonna get to here, and then that's gonna flow right into Breaking Bad, and then we're gonna show you where Saul ends up. And I think that'd be such a good idea. Just put a nice little cherry on top of the whole saga. God, oh, could be so good.
so Magic Ace, and this is the perfect way to segue into the final scene of this
Yeah.
episode. He says,
Yeah.
"I loved how Saul was so taken by the Statue of Liberty inflatable." LOL. The music playing in Kettleman's office was the same as Saul playing in his waiting room in Breaking Bad. Really? I did not. Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I didn't
Hey,
notice it either until he
Magic
said it. I
Ace,
listened to it.
way to go, way to get that,
Very perceptive eye.
way to get that connection, dude. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
eye and ear. I'm sorry. Magic Ace is picking up on. Well,
Yeah,
heck, Magic Ace and GD are both putting us to shame a little bit here.
yeah,
It's like,
yes, yeah.
I
Well,
didn't notice that stuff.
hey, they're part of the conversation too. So
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely. If there's stuff you see, bring it up. We'll talk about it. And of course, Jeannie Lumley says, last time I was this excited about a show was the last episode of MASH. Last episode of MASH came out the year before I was born. I never watched MASH, but I know from reading about on the history of television, the finale of MASH had the highest rating. Like 100 million people watched that episode when that aired. Did you know that? It was like 100 million people.
It was before my time too, but it was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it was huge.
Yes, and a lot of people love MASH and stuff. So it's I've only seen the movie. I've only seen the original movie with Donald Sutherland and Elliot Gould and stuff. So, but yeah, I think they even bring up MASH in this show. I think they brought up MASH in Better Call Saul. I think they bring up a lot of pop culture. Why I liked Better Call like Breaking Bad when Saul. I love Saul when he said, "Hey, dude, even the Starship Enterprise has a self-destruct." He brings up when they want to get rid of the meth MV. Remember in Breaking Bad, he's like, "What? You don't have a means of getting rid of it, destroying it?" So once I heard the Star Trek thing, it just made me happy. So because I'm a big Star Trek fan.
No, really.
The Star Trek priors, the Star Trek up to Star Trek Enterprise, not the stuff that Paramount Plus is putting out
No,
now.
I don't think. Yeah,
I'm not a fan. If you're a fan of
any
it,
sane any
that's
sane
fine. But
person, I don't think is. But I mean, to each his own. To each
exactly.
his own, or her own. Excuse me.
And we have Mob G in the chat too. He says, "When will the two episodes be available on Netflix?" I don't know because
It's probably gonna
it
be a while. I mean,
not yeah. This is I think it's outside the United States and Canada.
well, because I think they officially I think season 5 just initially got released on Netflix, and that was, I mean,
Yeah.
season 5 was what, 2 years
But I
ago
think
now? I mean,
this final season in other country is being dropped on Netflix,
is it
from
really?
what I
I
read.
might have to
So
check it
AMC
out.
Plus is only available in the United States and Canada, kind of like Paramount Plus is. So I think that's what it is. So we watch it on AMC Plus. People in other countries have to watch it on Netflix, unless you get the whole season, which will be what usually comes out when the Blu-ray comes out, except for season five. Season five, I guess they waited till right before the final season. I have no idea. Netflix is stupid, in my opinion. But I'm gonna have to get Netflix again to see the new season of Stranger Things, which is coming out. Okay, Prophet of
Oh
the
yeah, I
Dragon.
sort of want to see that too, just to see where it wraps up Stranger Things, but
Yeah, same
we'll
here.
see. I'm not, yeah, not sure,
All
but
right.
let's not get derailed here.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so last scene, we're at the Kettleman's place, back at that tax place. So Jimmy and Kim arrive, and of course, Lady Liberty, the air inflatable tube is just just there being itself. And the Kettleman's basically like, "Hey, you have no case, McGill." And we went to four lawyers, and they said we have no case. There's no proof and stuff. You want to go after them. You want to do character assassination. We're gonna go after. We're gonna go to Howard, and we're gonna tell him everything. And this Kim is sitting down. She's just listening this whole time. So I was like, "Here, you want money? I'll give you some money." And then Kim is like, "Enough carrot,
Yeah,
enough
carrot and
carrot."
stick. Yeah,
And now we're at the stick, and she calls the IRS and
what it's
threatens them with tax preparer fraud.
it's amazing that they just know. They know just because of how they are that they're doing this. It's not even a doubt. They've either done the research or they just know that they're swindling people because that's just who they are.
So that was true. So that wasn't just something that they made up. So them swindling people with
Oh,
the lower than usual tax
I
refunds
think it's
was
absolutely true because I mean she basically confesses to it. I mean,
yeah,
she says hundreds and she's like, it's like, she I don't know if that's them doing research or them calling their bluff, knowing the type of people the Kettlemans are. Going,
yeah.
they're not doing a straight business here. They're stealing from these people. So whether it was a con and they're calling their bluff or what, I think she definitely admitted they were doing it straight up.
Yeah, I'm like, how'd they find this out? But
I think it's just a character flaw. I mean, they know them, right? I mean, it's like
yeah.
they swear up and down they did nothing wrong, stealing $1.6 million
Oh
from the,
yeah, 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 yeah.
they
Yeah,
know they swear up and down that
you're
that
right.
they
You're
have done
right.
nothing wrong. So in their eyes, they're still providing a service. We're owed that money,
We're owed.
right?
Yeah,
So I
they're
think
entitled.
I think they're like,
They're like millennials. They're
yeah.
entitled. I know I'm one of them.
It's probably just the stance they took was just like, we know they're not playing it straight. We'll call the IRS. They'll fold. Is there? Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's what they did.
yeah, and and then it's like they like of course they demand exoneration, and of course then she says the big threatened tax preparer fraud in front of them, and they're like once again lower than usual refunds, and then Betsy like once they get
Yeah,
hangs up the phone, and she's like I'll do anything, anything, and then of course Kim is like you go to Howard Hamlin, we're gonna expose you. So she reverse blackmails them.
yeah,
And Jimmy is just like
Uh,
looking down. He's like, I'm not comfortable with this. Jimmy is
dude.
not
Yeah,
comfortable with this.
Dark Kim has come out. Oh my God, she's just like, fuck you guys.
Yeah,
She's
Dark
like a
Kim.
vigilante. She helps the good, fucks the fucking messes up. It's like you deserve this.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say I want Kim to not only succeed. I want her to be the puppet master behind Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad, or I want her to be even more successful than Saul with
Yeah,
her own firm and stuff.
I hope so. I hope she's in there somewhere in the background that we didn't even know about. It would be nice.
Yeah, exactly. It's so awesome. Man. I couldn't believe it. And yeah, Jimmy's not happy, and then they go out to the car, and Saul, he's like, you gave them the money, didn't you? He's like, yeah. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah. And then he
yeah,
said, then he mutters to himself, wolves and sheep in the car, and then they drive off. And I was thinking, well, last time he said wolves, and what last time we heard wolves and sheep was when he was a kid, and like his family, his dad ran a convenience store,
Yeah,
and his dad was basically I'm gonna say
the
he was
sheep.
the poor I'm gonna say the word schmuck. He was the poor
Yep.
schmuck that was taken advantage of by every grifter, every hustler in the area. They always went to him. They always asked for money, panhandle, and he gave it to them. He gave him some. He gave him milk too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
The
of course
sheep.
then
He's
and
the
then
sheep. Yep.
and then the guy says, you're either a sheep or you're a wolf. You know,
Yeah. There you go.
so
Kim's the
you're
wolf.
yes. Hmm. So is that what you? I was kind of curious what to take away from that. So yeah, so Kim's basically the wolf
Well,
in
I
this, and
think
he's the
Kim's
sheep.
basically beyond giving a fuck. I mean, excuse my language, but I think she knows what she's doing. She's in her comfort zone. She's helping people during the day, and then these people are not good people. She has no qualms about taking advantage of them and using their powers, as they would put it, to right a little wrong that they're performing. So I think she feels totally comfortable treating them this way because they're bad people.
Yeah, and of course, like way the last season ended, she's like this, pew, pew, you know, and he's just like, really, because it kind of mirrors how season four ends, where he's like, look at those suckers. And he's like, Better Call Saul, and then she's just like,
Yeah,
and then the camera kind of moves slowly away from her. Same
yeah.
idea, but yeah, this is just so crazy. So I want to say hello, Andrew Cannonen is here. Welcome, first time chatter. First time I've ever seen you. So he says the audacity of decorating a small business serving the Native American community made it clear the whole thing was a scheme. Grifters recognize, yeah, he's true. And this is Slippin' Jimmy says this too. Grifters recognize each other on sight, never mind their history. Yes, that's so true.
Hey, Mob G, I did confirm that he was right that it is internationally coming out next day on Netflix.
Yeah,
So if you're in the Philippines, I would think you should be getting it on Netflix
yeah.
tomorrow. I would think.
I
So
think
I would check it out.
The Philippines are technically, the next day.
Well,
Japan,
I think
Philippines.
everything international is next day. Anything
Okay.
international is supposed to be on Netflix next day. So hopefully it's there for him to watch because, there you go.
Okay, Sammy says Sammy with three M's says they moved away too slow with the story and it's finally caught up to them in the final season. Yeah, Andrew Cannon says also watching it subtitled sheep appeared under Jimmy to the left and wolves under Kim to the right. Really? Oh,
It's a pretty. I'll have to do that on my rewatch here.
I gotta
See,
rewatch
see.
it. I have to see.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm gonna rewatch it
I'm not.
anyways.
I think. Yeah, I know you're right, but I have to see this for myself. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I zoomed through it too fast. I gotta see it anyway. So
Okay, so you already answered Mom G's question. Yeah, freaking Netflix. And Andrew Cannon says close enough. Huh? Oh, my pronunciation. Okay. Yeah, just yeah. I do the same thing when people say nerdporeal and stuff like people say nerdporeal. No, that's no nerdporeal. That's how you say it. So, but my screen name is the Admiral. That's basically how Ricardo Montalban says Admiral in
uh,
Wrath of Khan. So I think it's hilarious. So that's my nickname. The nickname I gave myself because you know I'm a millennial.
those are the best nicknames, right? The ones you give yourself.
Yeah, and it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be one of my membership tiers. It's gonna be the Admirals
There you go,
something.
man. You're moving up the world. You get too fancy for me. You're monetized. Got a join button. Shoot.
Yeah. So
Good
so
for you,
yes.
man. Good for
So
you.
thank you. Yeah, I'm so grateful that there's people here watching my streams and stuff and listening to my videos. I mean that there's so much great content out there. So but yeah, so the episode ends. They drive off from there, and a car is following them, and I believe that car was Mike's, unless
Yeah,
unless
I'll look at the
otherwise.
license plate and match it up, but I'm almost 100% sure it's Mike.
That looked just like Mike's car. So
Yeah.
unless, yeah, I think it was Mike's car. So I, yeah, because it wasn't because he didn't drive that car when he helped Jimmy in the Bagman episode. He was driving like a truck, I believe,
I
some
think
crappy
so.
truck, I think.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, so that's the end of the episode. So overall,
So,
what'd you think? Like compared to other, season openers, I feel this was the strongest season opener.
I was there for it. I mean, it was just I guess I think I enjoyed it so much because, at least for myself, it's been a long time coming. And especially since I just watched the season and it's fresh in my mind, just getting the payoffs for some of the things that happened at the end of last season were just they didn't pay him off too much, but enough to be like, okay, here we go, we're ramping it back up here, and just seeing the evolution of Kim and I guess the evolution of Saul becoming Saul. He's still sort
Yep.
of trapped between Jimmy and Saul.
Yes, he
Saul
is.
is Saul is Jimmy is still there. That's why he gave the Kettlemans the money. That's Jimmy. That's not Saul.
Yep.
So
It's like
just sort
Chuck
of,
says, Jimmy means well.
yeah, those that duality there. It would
Yep.
be funny to see if that money gets them in trouble in future episodes,
That's
just
that's
because
that's that's food for thought.
that's a running thing with Chuck. It's always Jimmy. Jimmy always thinks he's doing. Not that I think
But he
Chuck
ends up
is.
but he ends up hurting people
Yeah,
ultimately.
Chuck's got a list of his own problems. Don't get me
Chuck's
wrong,
got a
but
chip on his shoulder, and Chuck
yeah,
was always in denial. He was in denial
yes,
about his
yes,
condition, like it was
yeah,
this all psychological, it wasn't physical.
yeah. So
And Jimmy basically proved it in court
yeah,
and
so
humiliated
and
him.
I was like, I'm glad we got some Lalo in there. And it's ramping up. It's one of those. I'm glad to see Mike didn't back down. It was one of those. It could have been very easy for him to just make him fall in line. But that's not Mike's personality, and I'm glad that they were true to that. He's the only one I think that we've seen stand up to Fring, besides for the people that are uh, above him in the organization. Everybody else basically cowers to Gus, and
Yeah,
Mike is having none of it.
no,
So,
that's
so
why
I think,
I love Mike. I love Mike's character. He's just so
yeah,
awesome.
he's so
Like
great. Yeah,
if like he's like to me, he's the epitome of badass. Like
yes,
there's no, I don't think
yeah,
there's any character in any movie, maybe with the exception of maybe Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry, which is the next video review I'm actually working on right now. But other than that, like there's no one more badass than Mike. But
yeah.
before I go any further, chat, leave it in the comments. Write down what your scores are for the episode, what you thought of the episode, how you'd rank it, and stuff. I'd love to hear what you guys think too. So
I
if you
have.
can,
I wanted to ask you, what do you think of the promotional the promotional image? The Gene with a jacket, the Saul Goodman jacket pulling on. I thought that was a very cool image, just to promote the series. That's the season 6 cover. I thought that was pretty cool.
it's a tough one. Maybe he becomes maybe as a result of that taxi driver. I forget his name. That taxi driver that recognizes him
Yeah,
and forces him to admit he's Saul Goodman.
maybe.
Maybe he puts on his Saul Goodman pants or suit, and he maybe blackmails the guy, or he manages to pull a slipping Jimmy on him again.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
thought it was very good. I like the image quite a bit, and then just I came in. I got here a little late, so the house, Saul's house, was quite the. I just saw the toilet comment. I was just like, yeah, that house is quite lavish.
Yeah, but I have to rewatch. The thing that I missed was the opening scene. I have to rewatch that. I have to rewatch the episode anyways, just for
Well, and
that.
just for I want to watch the opening a little slower, just because of just some of the talk of Kim. To see if there's anything in there that hints that maybe she's around, just like
Maybe.
little crumb, would be nice. But if it's there, it's deliberate. So we'll see. I doubt there's anything there, but it's fun to look for these things just to see if your theories pay out.
So my new life goal, Magic Ace says, my new life goal is to own a gold toilet and toilet room like Saul's in the beginning of the episode. I haven't seen it. I have to watch it because
Yeah.
I missed most of that
Oh,
first
did you? Okay. Yeah.
scene.
Yeah. It's funny, man. That house is. Whew, I watched it sort of fast, but that house is something else, man. That closet, holy crap.
Was that Saul Goodman's office, or was that what office? Where were they taking? I didn't recognize the place. That wasn't Saul Goodman's office.
It's
Was
his house.
that was his house
I think that's supposed to be his home.
during Breaking Bad? Because we never see
Yeah.
his home during Breaking
Yeah,
Bad.
exactly. I think it's supposed to be his home during Breaking Bad. That's why I'd like to see if there's any signs of Kim in there because
Oh.
he's got this giant closet with like they got teams of people. You're
Yeah.
assuming that it's after the event, after he's run, they're collecting
Yeah, he
evidence and
ran, and they're
breaking down.
basically going through his house, going
Right.
through all they're all going
Yeah.
through his things. That everything's being taken into everything's being taken into I forget who takes away everybody's possessions and
Evidence,
stuff, evidence or
whether it's
whatever.
evidence or just for just taking restitution or whatever they're taking. Who knows?
The good old state. All right, Mob G says, "Do you believe Chuck will make an appearance as a flashback in the final season?" I hope so. I'm sure there's
Uh,
some more
s-
story. There's
yeah,
more story to tell.
I think
I
somewhere
hope.
they'll fit it in. It's too big a staple
It'll
in Jimmy slash Saul's psyche to not have him in there somewhere. I would think some sort of flashback, even if it's like the karaoke one. The karaoke one was a
Yeah,
good one.
that was a good one. Yeah, the winner takes it all.
Yeah,
That was I think that was the end. It was actually I think the very end of season 4. And of
yeah,
course,
I
the
think
reason
so.
why Chuck was in that was because Jimmy the whole season was in denial about Chuck, and the reason why he got rejected the first time, that initial interview to get back on the New Mexico board, was because they felt he was disingenuous because he didn't bring up Chuck in the interview. Like, who was your big influence? Obviously, his big influence was Kim. I think Kim was his big influence into getting into law because she got into law. And he's like, if she can do it, why can't I? And then he went, and you see him, he walks into the library, at HHM, and he basically, I'm guessing he just started reading all the law books, and that's how he passed the bar. And he got a certification from, University of American Samoa. So I hope I love Michael McKean. I think he does. I think he does. His acting was some of the best I've seen in any shows. Him as Chuck was some of the
Oh yeah,
best acting I've ever seen.
yeah,
That whole scene with him breaking in the chicanery episode is some of the
yeah.
best television I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
I think majority of people I've read reviews on say that's the best episode of Better Call Saul so far. Which, as far as I'm concerned, I think the best episode of Better Call Saul, in my opinion, and you might disagree with me, either Bagman or episode 9 of season 5.
I'd have to. Yeah, I don't know how you guys keep track of episode to episode. I'd have to look up which episode it was, but
Well, remember, well, Bagman's obvious. That's when he's in the desert with
yeah,
Mike.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good one. Absolutely, that's a fantastic one.
I don't remember what the episode after that
Yeah,
was, where Lalo comes in. He's like, "Tell me again,
yeah. Tell me again. Yeah, oh yeah.
tell me
Tell me again.
again, tell
Tell
me
me again.
again,
Oh my God, yeah,
tell me
it's good
again."
stuff. So Magic Ace said something he didn't think. So you think it was movers coming in and getting the stuff? And I see. I gotta watch it again.
Those were movers. So I'm not sure what was going on
So
there.
that's
So
interesting. So I don't know. Gonna have to look. And then he had the cork too. So
yeah,
that's definitely a Kim thing. So I mean, it's
and
Kim and Jimmy, but Kim's the one that's walking around with it. She takes it everywhere with her now, just to
yeah,
remind her of her superpower,
yeah. So
right?
Jeannie Lumley says, and the fact that the jacket is red, yikes, blood. I thought it was pink. I mean, it's in my thumbnail. So, or
Hmm.
at least I think we're talking
I
about the
don't know.
promotional poster. I
Maybe I
think.
don't know. Yeah, it's. Let's see here.
They weren't law enforcement. They were movers. That was my perception. Well, I think the state basically hired the movers to take stuff away from from his house and stuff. So I'm taking it this is well into the future, like during Breaking Bad and stuff. So Jeannie Lumley says the cork from Safiro Anejo meant so much to Kim. I wonder if it was in that house because she lived there, or he kept it after she was gone. That's a very good question. I cannot answer it because it could be either way, and I want to find out what that is. And I hope and I hope it builds up properly to it, and it makes sense when they do reveal it and stuff.
Yeah,
And of
looking
course,
forward to
Magic
it.
Ace concurs with Genie and stuff. So yeah, so I'm taking everybody liked the episode.
Yeah,
I give it a I'm gonna do it out of 5. I give it a 7 out of 5. I just loved it that much.
yeah,
140%. Is there a
yeah.
reason why I
Right.
gave it a 7 as opposed to an 8 or a 6? No. I just wanted to give it a number higher than 5
Yeah.
because
No,
I
it's
was that into it. I was that
I'm.
into it. Look at my eyes. I'm crazy.
Yeah, yeah, I'm terrible giving number ratings, but it was extremely good. If I had five out of five for me, I was right there. I'm looking forward to watching it again, try and pick out some more details.
Or maybe Gene is having his stuff moved to wherever he lands. I don't know.
Oh, well, that would be hard because he got vacuum cleanered out of there. So
Hmm.
I mean, at that point, the vacuum man moved him. He's cut all ties with his previous life. He's Saul Goodman is gone. Yeah. So
Yeah.
to pull off moving all his stuff, that would be quite the feat. I think it would be more likely that if it was not being repoed or whatever, it was Kim taking possession of it. Maybe, if that, who knows? But yeah, get him getting it back himself would be well stupid. I mean, I mean, you're
Yeah.
trying to keep a low profile, getting paying to get your new identification to get moved, get killed, get dead, complete new identity, and then sending for all your stuff to be sent to you. Not very smart.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I think the brilliance of Better Call Saul is Peter Gould, because Peter Gould's the one who's been running the show from the very beginning. He created Saul. And Gilligan has been less involved with this show. I mean, he ran Breaking Bad, and he ran El Camino. And El Camino was okay, but I didn't like El Camino nearly as much as I love Better Call Saul.
Yeah,
I don't
El
know how you.
Camino's
I don't
all
know.
right.
It was okay. I got bored with all the Jesse and Todd scenes, because I knew Jesse was not. We knew Jesse was gonna live and stuff.
Yeah,
So all the Todd stuff, I just got sick of Todd.
yeah. It was just a little.
Maybe it's because Todd's weight gain, or the
Yeah,
actor, his actor Jesse Plemons' weight gain, because
yeah.
it's been like 6 years since Breaking Bad ended and stuff, and
Yeah, it was a little bit underwhelming. I actually, El Camino almost would have been better. He just gave him the bag of money and bye.
I was happy. I was hoping there would be more. Police would be. When I envisioned El Camino was like he tries to find the money, but the police are continually on his tail, kind of like the way Nacho is now with the
Yeah,
Everett cartel. I was expecting something like that, and it wasn't like that at all. It was
yeah,
just him. He finds a guy that was somehow connected to that one. I forget the Jesse, or not Jesse, Todd's gang and stuff, the neo-Nazi or whatever,
yeah,
those guys, and then he just fights them, kills them. It was cool. I loved
yeah.
it.
It was fine, but it just, yeah, it was definitely, yeah. I mean, it was good enough. Like, you know what I mean? It was, yeah. I wasn't like ew. It was
Yeah,
still entertaining.
yeah. I mean, I guess the big thing I wondered after watching, because I rewatched Breaking Bad for a third time in like 2018, and I'm like, what happens to Jesse? He has no money. He just drives off. What happens to him? And I'm glad that Gilligan decided to answer this question. And of course, Jesse went on. He managed to disappear. He says goodbyes to his family, and he went on to move. I mean, and of course, we saw a scene that takes place in between when Walt is whistling and making stuff, and then Walt and Mike come back, and they're both say, "Hey, we're out." That
Yeah,
was basically when him and Mike had that conversation. So it
yeah,
was cool seeing Jonathan Banks in the beginning of the movie and stuff. So I really think that they should not. I mean, I know, like, Mike was always destined to die because of the type of character he was, but
yeah,
I felt like he earned a little, because he had more humanity than, like, Gus and the rest of them. I
yeah,
felt like they should have given him a chance to disappear. Maybe Walt shot him, and then when Walt got to the car, like, Mike completely vanished. Like, he wasn't, lingering, like, right by the river or by the water, and he was dying and stuff. I think he should have just disappeared, and that should have been, and then Mike's fate should have been, left to the audience and stuff, because I feel like that could have, spawned away from more stories. Because now that I see, every time I see him with Kaylee, his
yeah,
granddaughter, it
yeah,
just it just hurts inside. It just
yeah.
hurts inside,
It's
because
yeah, it's a tough one. It
he not only
definitely
gets
is.
killed, but he gets dissolved in that acid,
Yeah,
just like everyone else.
Mike gets done dirty, 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 dirty. But
I
yeah,
mean,
no,
yeah,
I
he's a
get it.
killer, but he's a killer, but he still had some humanity
Yeah,
and stuff. So I was hoping for, like, maybe some sort of redemption of a
yeah,
sort.
yeah, maybe. I mean, it's there's a lot of good intention, story being driven. It's one of
Yeah,
those. Mike does bad for his daughter. Walt does bad for his family.
yeah,
Jesse does bad because, well, he doesn't know any better, and that's all
exactly.
he's been taught.
So Mob
So,
G here says, "Is Bogdan going to appear? His brows are to die for." He is one character as we have not seen yet. Yeah,
dude, just
Bogdan,
two
those eyebrows.
eyebrows.
Yeah, those eyebrows. You're looking. You're just when he appears, you just look at those
Dude, you know
eyebrows.
what? I hope there's a cameo where they go to the car wash and he's actually like cleaning it. Like he
Well,
hasn't. He's not the owner at that point.
Saul complains. Saul has a history at that car wash. He's like, they always give me air fresheners. I don't want the air fresheners.
Yeah. So
So
he's
he's.
just gonna have air freshener necklaces and he's gonna be washing the car. He's
Hmm.
gonna like, here's an air
And
freshener,
maybe,
buddy.
maybe, and maybe Walt's there. Maybe Walt
Employee of the
is,
month.
yeah, maybe Walt's there washing the wheels and stuff. Who
There
knows?
you go. Yeah.
Yeah, so Jeannie Lumley says Better Call Saul is my fave of all of them, but I really enjoyed them all. Yeah, I agree. Same here. Magic Ace says Bogdan's eyebrows need their own spin-off. You know what? Do you think they're gonna? I don't. They haven't announced it, and I know they've said there's no plans and works for a continuation of this universe. So really, the end of Better Call Saul might be the end of this entire saga.
Yeah. You know what? It's one of those things. You, in this day and age, it's like it's very good. It's very good, but I don't know which characters they'd latch onto and continue with at this point.
I mean, the one thing that people said, or one thing that was put out there was like perhaps a prequel for Gus's story, like how, like what was his
Yeah,
role in Chile? Was he part of that one regime, and he
yeah,
was in the military, and that's how he knows how to
but
kill
then
really
you gotta try
effectively?
and either then you have to cast a young Gus Fring that's gonna
Yeah,
match up to
Giancarlo
Gustav.
Esposito, and I
Yeah, which
don't think you can. I don't think you
yeah,
can
I
match up to
don't.
that.
I think it's possible to do that show, but I feel like it's forced.
If
Uh,
if someone else worked on it other than Peter Gould and stuff, they would make it like a stupid CW show
yeah,
where it'd be
yeah, yeah. It would it would
feelings and hallways
it
and
would
stuff.
have to be them doing it. If they didn't, hell no, nothing else. Don't. If it's not them, I don't want it at all. It at all. Just don't touch.
Hey, look who's here! The Tad that shouldn't be. What's up? He says it is better to be left wanting more than to wish they had ended it sooner. I
Yes, I
totally
agree
agree
with
with
that.
that. I
100%.
totally agree with that.
Yeah, that's sort of my stance with it. It's one of those I'm feeling good about this so far. I think they're going to a natural conclusion here, and I think at that point it just put a bow on it. It's going to be 12, 13 seasons of great television. I don't know that you can ask any more of that. I mean, and if we get some more of this, great, great. But
Yeah,
I'm not going to be going, feasting for it, right? So if
exactly.
it happens, it happens.
Yeah, I would rather, I'd rather just have them tie it up, tie all
Yep.
the loose ends up
Put a
with a
nice
nice little
bow on
neat
it and
bow, and yeah, call
call it a
it.
universe.
Yeah, and
Have it
this
explode at the end so nobody can do anything with it.
don't ruin the legacy. I mean, look at all these other shows. Look at what they're doing in Star Wars and Star Trek and
Yeah,
and a whole
just
bunch of other
nuke,
stuff.
just end it nice, and then nuke New Mexico and Mexico at the end, and then it's
And
over.
just yeah, any new ideas, any new ideas, follow it up. So
It'll be the sub ending. The nuke goes off, and it's like, here's the real ending. Oh, and by the way, nuclear war happened just after. You can't do anything in this universe.
yeah, there was if you watch the first episode of Walking Dead, there's a zombie that looks just like Walter White. I think they put it there on purpose. So, all right. So Jeannie Lumley says maybe not the Fly episode as much. Well, you know who directed the Fly episode? Mr. Ryan Johnson directed that one. If you don't know who Ryan Johnson is, he directed The Last Jedi, the episode 8, the one that a lot
So
of
that's a
fans do not like.
dude. Don't let that dude write. He has. I think he does has some
He's a
director.
good director. He's got
Yeah,
some good
he's got
cinematography
some
ideas.
directorial skill. Just don't let him write. It's so clear
Or
he can't.
if he's going to write, he has to stay within the framework. Because in
No,
this
he
case,
can't. No, he can't
I
write.
don't think he wrote the Fly episode, but he still had to stay within the frame rate of what
Yeah,
Vince Gilligan
don't let
and
that dude
everyone else
write.
did. So, um, yeah. So and of course, what does Jeannie Lumley says, and I love all the extra content that they gave us outside of the actual shows, like American Greed and the Los Pollos trading videos. Yes, they're so
Yes,
awesome. I
absolutely.
just watched American Greed. It's hilarious
It's
because the
so good.
Kettlemans are there, and
Kettleman's are
yeah,
so good.
that lawyer dude who I'm surprised we didn't see in this episode. The lawyer dude, the bald lawyer dude,
Yeah,
who's always negotiating with Jimmy. He's like, "Hey, are you gonna eat that? Are you eating those fries?
yeah, he's
Are
always
you gonna? Are
eating.
you?" Yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's thin, but he's always eating like crap food. Hey, can I have your burger? He like buys him off with a burger. I
yeah.
love this show. I love this show.
It's so good. Oh man.
And so what is else? So Gene Lumley also says he has said that there are stories to tell, but I don't get the feeling that they're planning to do anything more. Yeah, that's the thing, and I mean it's a bittersweet take, but it's something that I'm okay with. I
Yeah.
want them to end this on a high note, and if there's no good story to tell, I mean, then just I mean I'm sure there's other ideas out there for other universes to build and stuff.
Yeah.
So I
Start
feel
some.
like yeah,
Start
do
something new.
something new, do
Yeah.
something
So,
new, and just once again, work to earn the trust of the audience.
yeah.
And I think Peter Gould and all of them have more than done it. And like if whatever show they do next, I want to check it out and give it a shot because I trust them to entertain and to be to care about what they're doing, to care about the continuity. I mean, this show's one of the few that really cares about its own continuity
Yep.
because
Yeah.
a lot of shows now don't do that. And I'm like, if you don't care about your own continuity, why should the paying customer care about your stupid show?
Yeah, every action is thought out for a reason. They're
Yeah.
dropping little hints in episodes here and there for a reason. It's all very calculated and well written. So the casual observer can use it, and the person that's watching it 3 or 4 times finds out little tidbits that the people that watch it once aren't able to pick up till later.
Yeah, and there's always, I mean, I was just rewatching seasons 1 through 5, and there's always different things to take away.
Yeah.
That's the magic stuff that if there's always stuff to take away from it, I feel that makes the show phenomenal.
Yes. Agreed.
And this is one, Better Call Saul is one of the few shows that there's always something new to take away after rewatches. Because I'm a nerd, nerdporial, get it? And I rewatch, I rewatch, like my friend who watches stuff, he just watches it once, that's it, forgets, stops,
Yeah.
doesn't rewatch stuff. If I like something, I will rewatch it
But yeah.
because
I,
it's that good. Better Call Saul, I've rewatched several times. Every time a new season started, I always rewatch the entire show.
yeah, I've rewatched several things. I just rewatching Justified and Banshee, and
I
started
heard
going through
about Banshee. I have to add Banshee to my list.
the Banshee's so good. But yeah, Banshee I watched again, and well, there's been a few other ones, but yeah, I love rewatching stuff. I mean, it's and especially if you've given yourself some time to forget, you're like, oh hey, I remember that. That was oh, I'm looking forward to that again. Oh shoot, that part really got me. It's fun reminiscing again after you've lost track of it for a little bit.
So here he says, sort of the Ted that shouldn't be says the Law and Order universe is the ideal way. If you have an idea in the universe, use completely different characters and premise. Yeah, and it worked for Star Trek back when Rick Berman was running it too. You had TNG, you had DS9. I liked Voyager, but I feel Voyager should have been much different than TNG. It was more TNG light with cheaper actors and stuff, and obviously new makeup. And of course Enterprise was prequel and stuff, and then that was it. So yeah, I agree. I agree. Do yeah, that's not a bad idea. Petty with the prior. Yep, Petty with the prior.
Petty with
And of
Brian.
course, Mob G. I mean, I'm trying to keep up with this. Mob G's like, Huel, what happened to him? Seriously, is he still stuck in that condo waiting
He's
for Hank and Gomez to
he's
return?
beating
I
people up with
can't stand the
sandwich bags.
unpredictability. Yeah, yeah, he got yeah. And that whole at the end, the whole thing in at the end of was it season 4? Yeah, they're writing all the cards to get him to
Oh
dismiss the
my
case.
god, it's so bad. Like talk about commitment. It's so good.
Yeah,
Oh,
and so it was. I love that, and of course, this Magic Ace says, and I totally agree with this. This is exactly what I took away from it. El Camino was basically an epilogue to Jesse's story because, yeah, once again, Jesse's story, he just kind of drives off and he laughs hysterically with no money. Walt just frees him. He doesn't give him money. So, like, how does he get away? He has the police, everybody's on him. So I was happy that Jesse got some closure because I was like curious. I felt after the third takeaway from Brett breaking down, like, Jesse's story didn't end, and I feel like I want to know how it ended. So I'm glad El Camino exists.
yeah,
So
me too.
and yeah, so and oh, there's another chat. They can end it by showing Hugh on the couch, skinny as a rail. Yeah, that would be funny
That'd
because he lost weight. I mean, he's much thinner than he was back
be
then.
hilarious.
So, so do you have any final thoughts or? We've been on for almost 3 hours now, so
Yeah, I'm looking forward to episode 3 next week, man.
oh, so am
It's
I.
gonna be
So am
good. So,
I.
and it'll be interesting to see if you guys are right about Gene rounding out the series. If it's gonna be we're gonna end with Gene or we're gonna end with Saul. It'll be
I think
good
we're
to
gonna
know.
end with. Think we're yeah, exactly. That's we'll find out.
Be very
So
interesting.
so once again, if you haven't subscribed, if you like the stream, I've done other streams. I love a whole bunch of stuff. I've done a lot of videos, video game retrospectives, movie reviews, layman's guide to television shows that I love and stuff. Better Call Saul is one of them. Um, yeah, just check out the channel and of course leave a like if you can. This really helps, build really helps build my channel, builds gets more exposure to other fans who want to engage in this type of stuff because that's what I'm for. I want to really talk my selling point for my channels. I really want to talk about things that are good, quality stuff that I feel that, and I want people to kind of talk about. I want to engage with other fans and talk about stuff and have a good time. Because
Yeah,
right now there's a lot of division, especially with Star Trek being so different from what it used to be. That's alienated its old fans. Same with Star Wars and
yeah,
stuff. And so I want to talk about the good stuff that still exists, and there is still good stuff that exists,
yeah.
and just get and just have everyone have a good time again. Be a fan.
It'd be nice,
Be
right?
excited for things. Like get
Yeah,
into this black pill mentality and
yeah,
just yeah. And that's why I really wanted to do it. So Magic Ace says subscribing now. Thank you guys. Well, thank you. I'm
yeah. Thank you
humbled.
for
I'm humbled.
listening.
I hope that if there's other content that I have that you like, I hope you find something that you like
Rambling
and
about
enjoy.
for hours. Thanks for watching. You guys have been great
Thank you
with the.
so much, everyone that's been on here. Gene
Yeah,
Lumley, Magic Ace,
been great.
Mob G, the Tad that shouldn't be, of course, and of course everyone else that showed up. Andrew Cannonen. If yeah, you have to if I keep saying it wrong, you have to tell me how to properly say it. And Sammy, and of course everybody else who has showed up in the chat. Thank you guys. This was awesome. I'm doing this again next week. I hope you guys come by again. Tell you if you know anybody that's watching this as well, tell them to come by too and stuff. Um, I basically left this link on Facebook and stuff for the Better Call Saul group, and I think it was a good decision on my part. I
There you go.
solicited just like Jimmy. How Jimmy
Yes.
got in trouble in season 2 because he solicited to the elderly on the
Uh-oh.
bus and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. Some Facebook groups don't allow you to do that, even though it's still part of the
Uh,
topic and stuff. I'm like, come on.
no harm. Whatever. You
Yeah,
know, we're
exactly,
just having fun, right?
exactly. So, all right then. Other than that, guys, so you have any last things you want to say?
No, thanks for having me. As always, it's been fun.
It's
Glad with some.
1:30. It's almost 1:30 a.m. now.
Yeah, no, hey man, it's worth it. It's nice to have somebody to talk about this with because you know uh, it's just nice to have something good to look forward to. That's why it's always a pleasure doing the Lord of the Rings streams with you. My unfortunately most of the stuff that my Wheel of Time fandom is going down in flames with the show. So it's nice to have a bright sunrise on some other stuff. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I love doing this. So
Hey, at
anytime
least
you'll
Wheel of
have me,
Time ended. At least Wheel of Time ended.
what the
Song of
books
Ice and
did,
Fire.
well, the books
George
did.
R. R. Martin.
They're in the middle of destroying the show. The show's busy destroying its legacy. So, but that's for
That's like every show now. Every
yeah.
show that's
Oh
old
yeah.
based off of an old book or something or property that's popular
Yep.
with nerds and stuff. That it's terrible.
It's yeah. They just dismantle it. So I'm glad to be able to talk about Better Call Saul and be happy. It's nice. So thanks for
I
having. I'm glad you invited me. Thank you
Well,
so much.
thank you so much for having someone to talk off of and stuff.
Yeah,
Makes the stream that much cooler and longer too.
yeah.
More
Well,
things to say.
anytime as long as I'm not being dragged to work. If you call me again, I'll come with bells on.
Yeah, if you want to come back, you're welcome to come back next week if you want to.
I should be around. So
All right,
so I'll let you know, but I should be available. So
all right. Thanks, Steve, and chat once again. Thank you so much for coming by. Um, I am my current video is that I'm working on is the review of the movie Dirty Harry. So expect that. Hopefully within a few days to a week and stuff. I'm still writing the script for it. and I gotta record, and then I gotta make the edit the video, and I have to make sure it gets through copyright proper. So that's the next thing I'm working on, and I'm thinking of doing a stream on Thursday. I'm not sure, but yeah, this weekend I'm not gonna be around, so I'm not gonna be doing anything on Saturday. So I'll keep you guys all posted. I was thinking of doing either another science fiction thing or another a sci-fi chat, which I talk about a science fiction movie or something with a couple people. I'll figure that one out. So other than that, everyone, stay nerdporial. May the wings of nerdporials carry you to next week's episode of Better Call Saul. Take care.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night.